All right. It's Ship Chasing Wednesday night. You guys have been anticipating this draft, and this cold open is going to have to be cut short because we are on the clock right now. We'll have to wait to play the music here in a second. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase goes. We got Kat Karain on the run. This is a big decision between Kupp, Tyreek, Christian McCaffrey. Who are we thinking? We got 40 seconds, fellas.
CMC 1, Kupp 2. That's my KDS.
Gretch, what's your vote?
I would be Kupp in a start 3 receiver league, but there's just a lot of running back value throughout the draft right now.
I'm not throwing a fit about Cooper Kupp. Pat, what do you say?
I'm fine either way, to be honest. I probably lean slightly towards Kupp, but I'd be fine with CMC too.
Sounds like I've been outvoted.
I lean slightly Kupp too. Davis, it's great having you on the channel. We are going to select. Well, hang on. That's the cold open. 1 second.
Pat Fryer Helmo.
This is why I'm hot.
Anita Handjob.
Fix your sight. Jamar. Alpha play chase. Are you kidding me? Kadarius Toney?
You can't handle the heat.
It looks like we're finally at this point. You're right.
Well, Davis, you will say, like, I sent over the link for the show, earlier this afternoon, and your only reply was, "I'm fine with Kupp." So you
because I knew that's what you guys would want to do. The thing that is most souring me on it is that I did a main event last night and we got Cooper Kupp at pick 8, which is to say in my rankings, Cooper Kupp would be the 3rd player in this format, but it is one of those.
You just drafted him at 8 last night. It's not fun to draft him at 3 the next night.
Correct. It is not as fun. And again, the things that I like about Kupp are more structural than about. Obviously, I love clicking him, but whereas with Christian McCaffrey, I am actually jazzed about how many points he's going to score at a position where it's hard to find points a lot of times.
One of the reasons I like Kupp for this draft slot specifically, and with the 3rd round reversal, is because depending on how wide receiver heavy the 2nd round goes, you could legitimately be in a really gross range at the end of round 2, and then find yourself in another wide receiver dead zone at the end of round 3 because of the 3rd round reversal.
That is the
Yeah.
most convincing argument is that it saves you from Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, DeAndre Hopkins. That is the thing that is most freeing about starting wide receiver is that this is just a summary of the last month of stealing bananas, but the rounds tail end of round 3 to round 6 is like the wide receiver dead zone, whereas the running backs there are all really attractive.
Can we get a Kat Karain update? So the chat was saying West Coast, Pat, but you're still in Brooklyn.
I'm East Coast, man. This is Brooklyn. Yeah. I'm staying at a hotel in Brooklyn. Flying out tomorrow night. Pretty late, like 9 o'clock Eastern.
I'm sure the hotel in Brooklyn's pretty affordable. So
actually, kind of is. It's not nearly. We booked it last minute because we were like, we'll just stay. Like our stuff's gonna get picked up Friday, and then we'll stay on air mattresses for few nights, no big deal. And then we did that for 2 nights, and we're like, we're idiots. Let's stop doing this immediately.
Yeah,
so
Pat,
we booked a hotel last minute.
You got to start going up to people on the street and asking them their body count and turning it into content. I think you're set up pretty good.
Brooklyn is like a very nice and safe place, Davis. It's not.
David, let's not forget that when Davis and I went to New York City to see Laird and meet Laird, that was Davis's first time to NYC, and you were legitimately terrified to ride the subway.
Telling Davis about the subway, Davis, you can ride it. Don't worry. He was like, "You are fucking insane if you think I'm doing that."
I've ridden the subway in Chicago before, and I did it was fine, but it was not an experience I really enjoyed. And then Chicago is just, or New York City is just like Chicago times 3. So I was not.
Yeah, but the subway makes a lot. Well, I was gonna say it makes more sense. That's not true because it's complicated, but it gets you where you need to go. It's a useful system.
I was born in a town that probably less people live in than your old apartment building. Honestly, it is a foreign experience to me. Like it is a different universe that we are.
I had a similar experience the first time I went to New York, Davis. Being a
hey, I mean, look,
Northwesterner.
dude, we hung out. We went to some fucking speakeasy. We walked through an alleyway. We got into a bar. We had a blast. We did the Brooklyn thing. We saw the bench where the Broad City Girls filmed. You know, it was beautiful.
To be clear, none of that was in Brooklyn. It was all on Lower East Side of Manhattan. But
I was like, what were we at Brooklyn?
I don't know. So Bijan goes. I'm going to start the ship chasing tradition of lusting after another team. Team 11 starts CD Bijan. That is a pretty hot start.
That's a nice start.
Jim Irsay starts AJ Brown and Jalen Waddle from the 9-hole here. We did start with Cooper Kupp, and we're gonna watch a wide receiver run happen here. It will be funny. Call your guys a shot. Where does Jonathan Taylor go in this draft? He is at the top of the applet right now.
He's already at the top. Oh,
End
God.
of the fourth. End of the fourth round.
No. 702.
He's going to the end of the fourth with these high stakes.
Not us.
I'm still seeing him going like.
I'm more
end of the
closer
fourth
to
than he's
Pat.
dressing him.
I think he goes in the 5th. I'm saying I don't want him, but I'm saying I think he goes in the 5th.
Yeah. I'm not taking him. I don't want to take him.
Pat at like 140 at his ranks now.
No. But he's in the 90s.
Content idea for my friends who are grinding in the content mills: go back and look at drafts from the year Le'Veon Bell held out and track his ADP where he went in high stakes stuff that year. So there's a free content idea. Last night, Jonathan Taylor in the FFPC main event. Where did he go? He went at 6'9" as the RB21.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I mean, I have basically no interest, honestly, because it becomes a situation of, he's missing games. There were already some structural concerns, or not efficiency concerns, not structural concerns, about how he would perform in this offense with the rushing quarterback and how good or bad Indianapolis would be. And now it just seems like, I don't know, I think I'd rather have like Jalen Warren than Jonathan Taylor, really.
I moved him 3 spots ahead of Warren in my running back rankings. The chat said that Spike Week fellows were saying Brian Robinson range. I moved him just behind Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
That's literally that range, yeah.
Yeah, I moved him ahead of Kamara today by 1 spot. I had him behind originally. And I was like, I guess I'd probably take him ahead of Kamara.
Okay, so for our next pick here, right at ADP would be Najee Harris. I think that fits pretty good.
Is that right? Is that...
Yes.
It can't be right.
It is.
My God.
We have the 22nd pick. Najee's ADP is 22. So,
wow. Tony Pollard does come off the board here to team 6. We're 2 picks away. There's a couple interesting wide receivers here, and then all the quarterbacks are still on the board.
Yeah, this next pick we're about to make is like, I hate it. This is like the worst pick in fantasy. Is the last 3 picks of the second round.
So
isn't it really?
If T and Devonta go, would you guys consider Ridley? He's been getting pushed up into
I would.
I would rather take Mark Andrews, but it's fine.
I would be fine with Mark Andrews too.
Yeah, I'm just on the Andrews side, but I guess I wouldn't mind balancing out a mega Ridley fade with 1 high stakes share.
We have no outs, obviously.
We do too much of that. I do the same shit. Like, I've been not drafting this guy in hundreds of drafts this year. Oh, Ridley goes.
You guys want T, right? We run into the podium for T.
I'm leisurely jogging.
Yeah, it's a jog for me.
It's not.
Honestly,
I'll run with you, Pete.
Yeah.
We can jog.
Yeah. Well, actually, because probably who we're taking wouldn't come back, but like, who would you guys even want to take over T?
I think I would actually rather have the elite quarterback just to look at it, because I don't really like T. Higgins that much. But
all right, let me click the button real quick as you make your point.
Davis is just to look at it was not convincing.
No, I mean,
it would look better on paper.
The other thing is that my favorite elite quarterback to draft is actually Lamar, and we are set up. We're in a pretty good.
We
position.
might get him. Yeah,
we're set up in a pretty good.
We could get him.
Take him.
Yeah.
I just to be honest, T. Higgins doesn't really make a move for me. I just don't enjoy.
Yeah, I
playing
agree
him.
with you.
I just
He's
don't.
not short enough. Davis
He's
5 years ago, he would have made a move.
Yes, correct.
Dude, if he lost one dude in like a preseason game, Davis would be taking him at the 1-2 turn.
Just shrink him down, make him 5'8". Make him 5'8".
Wow.
If you put T. Higgins' stats in Deontay Hardy's body, then we're running to the 30.
You've changed, man.
The
I
way you're
literally have.
drafting Deontay Hardy, you are assuming he's getting T. Higgins stats this year, is from what I've seen.
Name a bigger heel turn than the guy who was like pretty sure Stephen Hill was Calvin Johnson to the guy spending all summer drafting Deontay Hardy, Tutu Atwell, and Wan'Dale Robinson.
But then you flipped on Greg Dortch. Greg Dortch thought he could count on you, man.
Yeah.
No. Michael Wilson, we're back to our talking roots. So anyway, the point being about T. Higgins is this is a dude who is 3 years into his career, and he's just all right. He really just like fantasy points per game, targets per route run, all that stuff. He's just all right.
Yeah. I mean, he's a clear number 2 on his team, which is not
a clear
ideal.
number 2. And you'd make the art.
Is this Pat
contingent
McAfee?
upside-
Gretch, are we broadcasting with Pat McAfee right now? We can just ship off your clear number 2 for an injured holding out
I'm
running
gonna
back.
lose you guys. I'm on the elevator.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say real quick for people who are tuning in, we didn't really set the table here. This is our second primetime draft we're doing on NFFC. We did one last week with the Buckeye Boomers. It's a 20-round draft. Some of the different settings quirks that you guys maybe aren't used to if you haven't drafted on NFFC. We do have that third-round reversal. As you can see here, the 1-2 turn got to pick first there in the third round. It is 6-point passing TDs, which is why Davis floated the quarterbacks as being especially viable in this format. It is full point PPR, no tight end premium, and it's a 3 wide receiver, 1 flex league, 2 running backs, 1 quarterback, 1 tight end. Gretch, what were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say in defense of T, I mean, he is the number 2 on his team, but Tyler Boyd lost a lot more volume per route when Chase really broke out last year than T did, like on like a per route basis. Irv Smith definitely doesn't make it move. So you're talking about a number 2 in like a 2-man passing game. Then you're also talking about a team that was second in the NFL in pass rate over expected last year, surpassed the Bills, like actually took a huge jump. And Joe Burrow, it looks like a legit efficiency raising quarterback for everyone. Like you have like
I agree with all
target.
these points. I agree with all of these points. I don't mean to I'm not disparaging T. I'm not saying I won't take T. I'm not even saying I don't want to take him because I don't want to take a number 2 wide receiver as in the second round or whatever.
He's just saying it doesn't make it move.
It's just like how many I'd have to look this up, but I would bet Devonta Smith has more. Fucking Lamar goes. God damn it.
All right, we're on the clock. So we had Allen, Andrews, Lamar, Debo all come off the board here.
Yeah, I really wanted Lamar
Gibbs
Jackson.
or Rhamondre is what I would float here. What do you guys think?
I like Gibbs or ETN. I don't care which
I
one.
agree it's a running back pick. I'm pretty like Gibbs, ETN, Rhamondre. You guys can sell me on either.
I'm Rhamondre.
We're much more likely. We're much more likely to get Gibbs out of any of these guys on the next pick.
True.
Like much more likely.
I did my legendary upside write-ups on these guys, and I came away feeling better about Rhamondre and slightly more concerned about ETN just because they were so.
Leone texted me today. Rhamondre is the most classic trap back. If he was 2 years older, none of you fuckers would like him at all.
Leone's just sending these hilarious texts.
Gretch,
Rhamondre.
are you okay with
Rhamondre?
Yes, I'm fine with it.
All right, let's do Rhamondre.
I've had him and Gibbs kind of flip-flopping in my ranks. I have a back-to-back. And then ETN not far behind. So they would all
Leone's take is Rhamondre's not going to catch passes. That's the take?
It's a combination of less likely to catch passes than last year. The market is baking in no risk of Ezekiel Elliott taking goal line touches the way he did from Pollard.
The market is baking in risk. If you had
they've been ahead of market on
in second round pick.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I just read you the text message that he sent me, which is that we didn't have any conversation further than that. But he literally just said he's a trap back, that if he was 2 years older, you guys would be calling him Najee Harris.
What do you mean by you guys? What do you mean by you people, Leone?
Well,
Like, he literally-
they've been more
He
bullish on him
literally
than I have.
means he literally means the 4 people on this stream when he says you.
So,
people.
I know he
literally-
does,
He
but-
literally
No.
means these 4 guys.
Leone uses the term trap back. He tends to use it the way that Karain actually came up with that acronym for me, but it was from the high value touch research I did. And typically that means guys who don't catch a lot of passes and get goal line work. And he says the goal line stuff's a concern, but why are we concerned about his receiving? He got 69 passes last year. He had 83 or 88 targets. Like, his volume in the
I
receiving
don't know,
last
dude.
year
You're
was
the one
absurd.
who was doing like a forensics file level deep dive on Ty Montgomery's contract, so I feel like you're probably the one
That was last
able to
year.
answer that.
That was before Stevenson had a 70 catch season. Now I haven't even mentioned Ty Montgomery this offseason. I'm out. Like, it's Stevenson.
Are we oh fuck, Gibbs goes. All right. You sometimes you win playing the ADP game, sometimes you lose.
This is a great point from the Dread Pirate guy too. Rhamondre's just better than him. You go look at the advanced like rushing metrics, and Rhamondre's right up there in like evasion rate, forced missed tackles per attempt, all the stuff that actually might be predictive of runners' skill level. Rhamondre's been really good both years of his career so far.
Some running backs we like going off the board here. The team 1 goes Jefferson and then snaps up Jacobs, Gibbs, and ETN. We're going to be on deck here. We'll see what the Jamar Chase, DK Metcalf,
kidding me,
DJ Moore
dude?
drafter does.
I'm so like oh
They
there
go-
we go.
Breece?
I mean his
Wait.
the only pick.
Oh,
he
you
can
want-
make.
I was thinking receiver or Burrow.
Well,
is
mention-
even an option.
You can float the wide
Burrow,
receiver.
taking Burrow in the 4th and managed is bad.
Yeah,
Taking
let's not
Burrow
say Burrow.
39th
It is 6 point per
overall
pass TD, but I probably would be Ayuk if of all the receivers, which is kind of maybe a little bit of a reach.
Yeah, like that's a huge reach.
All right, we can go Breece if you guys want.
I think
What do you got, Pat?
I think the tier we're gonna like for wide receiver coming back at 5'6". I think
Is
we're
all
gonna
the
like a
rookies.
Good bit. I mean, everything about Breece right now is just so positive. Like,
let's
he
do
might
it.
be healthier than Dalvin Cook right now.
And dude, the videos of him receiving, like he's his new Aaron Jones. I mean, as much as I'm like completely sold that Garrett Wilson is Rodgers' new Devonta Adams, and I absolutely am sold, I'm also absolutely sold that Breece Hall is going to be his new Aaron Jones. Like, they're showing him running the routes, catching the passes, and looking super fast, like super healthy.
Pat,
Dude,
your
I
first one?
wrote the legendary upside. Yeah, I wrote the legendary upside scenario for Breece Hall today, and honestly, I think I've been way too low on him.
That seems impossible.
Where do you have him ranked,
I'm
Pat? Like,
super psyched.
if you weren't worried, like the same like Leone thing, where I don't want my subscribers to have 99% Breece Hall in every draft, but like, where would you rank him? Where would you take him? How early would you take him?
I have him at 37 in the pure rank. And that's probably where I would say, like, I kind of want to push him around the corner now. That's like how I'm doing it. But as soon as the fourth round starts, he's in play for me.
Yeah.
So
I was hoping for something spicier. I thought it was gonna be like once Tony Pollard's
you want
off the
something
board,
spicier.
take
The
a
case
Breece.
I made on
Where would
Do you
I
have
be
bananas?
out if the market was pushing him up? Where would I be out? I'd probably be out around the 302.
Yeah. Still looking for spicier from you, but
yeah.
I want
So
Andrews.
the case
would
I
take
made on
Andrews over him. If Andrews is available, I would take him pretty much 100% of the time over Breece. But that's about it. Yeah.
The case I made on bananas was that if he didn't tear his ACL, he'd be the RB1 right now. And so the only thing holding him down is
He
the
wouldn't
rehab.
be, but he would be the running back.
He would.
four.
I think he would go ahead of McCaffrey. McCaffrey's like 28. I actually think if he would have played all of last
And-
season with his profile and then
literally
Aaron,
no
because he would have.
chance.
I should be clear. I think he would
I
have put
agree
up
with
like
Davis.
a
He would
1,500
be the
yard
RB1.
season. If he put up a 1,500 yard season plus, which he would have, and then Rodgers came over this offseason.
I agree with Gretsch because last year the market wanted to crown a running back 101 so bad. There were a few questions on Jonathan Taylor stuff, and people were still taking 101 because they're like, I can't take a receiver. And then we had the year of 0 RB, and the market was like, fuck it, we'll start drafting receivers up here. And we're still taking Christian McCaffrey that high. even though he's ceding more work to Eli Mitchell, yada, yada. The market loves crowning an RB1 overall.
Right.
They love that.
They do.
And he would have been this youth, like untouchable profile, brand new elite quarterback. Or
The
like
Aaron Rodgers
quarterback
things would have
upgrade.
pushed it over the top. It would have solidified it. He would have smashed, and then he got a quarterback upgrade. And then everyone would be like, oh,
I think he would be going ahead of McCaffrey. I think people would be taking Bijan ahead of McCaffrey too if he would have landed in like a spot like Zeke did as a rookie. But I think people are a little bit concerned about him.
If Bijan would have ended up almost anywhere. Here's a good theoretical. What if the Lions took him?
I mean, with or without David Montgomery?
With David Montgomery, because the Montgomery was done beforehand, right?
Yeah.
Free agencies before. Yeah, but I mean, David Montgomery is just Tyler Algier. Honest to God. But
with a little bit bigger contract.
It's not even really a nag on David Montgomery.
No, Algier's pretty good. I almost think that's a neg on Algier. To be perfectly frank.
Well, you just think that because he's versatile enough to be their sixth linebacker if need be.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Montgomery's never going to tackle a dude. The thing that I was really struck by when writing up Breece Hall today was that he had 5.1 targets per game over those first 6 games. Tears his ACL in the 7th game, only has 4 carries. But he caught like just over 60%, like 61% catch rate as a running back, which is absurdly low. And that's a Zach Wilson stat. He's going to get Aaron Rodgers. Like Austin Eckler caught 85% of his targets last year. If Breece Hall catches like 81% of his targets or something like that, jumps up 20%, like we should basically expect that to happen. And that's going to make a huge, huge difference for his receptions per game. I think he's kind of a sneaky, like I talked about the path to 4+ receptions per game. Breece Hall basically did that last year, except he didn't have the receptions. He just had the targets that are normally associated with that level of receiving volume, but it was from Zach Wilson. Now it's going to be from Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers brings a lot of touchdown upside to the offense, but just like something as simple as he will throw a catchable ball to the running back is a massive, massive upgrade for Breece Hall. I don't think people realize how heavily targeted he was as a rookie.
Pat, can we just say your internet connection, your camera, like it's all impeccable tonight. Just like so crisp, like the best you've ever had from this stupid hotel that we've been dealing with your bum fuck, apartment internet for this entire time.
This is a hotspot for my phone.
It's
could have been doing that the whole time, bud.
The whole time I could have been doing it.
You might be ready to start best ball brunch, but otherwise, I mean,
it's true. Yeah, this is very similar to the setting of best ball brunch, I have to say.
Since we picked Breece Hall, we did see Ayuk go and Joe Burrow goes unstacked to Team 9. These are the other picks off the board: Amari, Aaron Jones, Mike Williams, Drake London, Darren Waller, Deontay Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, Godwin, Mixon, McLaurin, Jahan Dotson. Those guys getting closer and closer in ADP. Damian Pierce, Justin Herbert. We are 3 picks away here. Definitely going to have some wide receivers we like. There are some couple interesting running back names as well, but it feels like we at least want one wide receiver with these next 2 picks at the very least.
Yeah, and probably wide receiver first and then let the room do whatever.
Especially because Team 1 is unlikely to do a 4th. I mean, they could, but I would think unlikely.
The question is going to be, now we get all the options. What do we want to do at receiver?
I'm still not logged in. Can you guys tell me?
Yeah, so
Lockett,
I'll read it off the
Evans,
ADP.
Pickens,
Judy,
Marquise
Lockett,
Brown.
Pittman. Yeah.
I would be
it's a good. Yeah, it's good. I was going to say Lockett would be unpopular in this room. I'm good.
I would be Lockett, I think, too.
Davis, go get
Pickens.
Yeah.
Davis, who's your guy? We've been famously outvoting
the thing
you.
is that I've actually been sold on the other guy. So, and I would like the euphoria of selecting this guy in the room.
So
I think we take
Pickens? Did they get the other guy coming back?
Yes, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good with that.
All right, let's do Pickens here. So we
love that you're sold on the other guy. That's exciting, Davis.
Well, I've been sold on him the entire time, but a real jumping the shark moment was him going ahead of his teammate in Underdog Best Ball Mania. Like I love young guys as much as everyone else, but the shark we were on the Damian Harris. The Shark. We were on. We maybe we weren't all the way over the Shark, but we were holding our surfboard above the Shark in the air with the ability to still go back if we needed to. And now the market has gone that direction.
Are we talking about Pickens and Deontay Johnson? Is that what we're talking about?
I don't know who we're talking about anymore.
I'm so confused.
Well, we're trying to
picturing
know.
I don't even know who the metaphor is about, and the metaphor makes no sense.
Put it on the low.
We actually maybe should have thought about taking Fields there.
It's 6 point per pass. I did think about it. I was more compelled by Herbert sliding until he went because I think it's 20 point per pass yard, 6 point per pass TD. It's a pretty big boost to the guys that could be big volume passers.
Yeah. I also think because there's probably even still one more running back value, maybe in round 8 or 9 that we want to take. It's just these teams are so much easier to build the way you want if you're willing to push QB.
Correct. Yeah. And I don't hate what you guys have been doing, taking 3 of them either. Especially obviously on NFFC where it's not tight end premium and you don't feel the need to draft Michael Mayer because Michael Mayer's 14 routes in week 1 actually won't make a move, whereas on the FFPC, if Michael Mayer runs 14 routes in week 1, any league where he's not drafted, he's going for $113 a fab if he runs 14 routes in week 1.
What's happened to us? 14 routes.
The thirst, baby. The thirst.
Oh, man.
All right. Don't do it. Don't do it, Team 2. Don't do it, Baral.
This is brutal.
I think they're going to do it. I'm pretty sure
be
they
unhappy.
They're going to take Kenneth Walker.
Our fallback would be who? Jerry Jeudy?
No, I think our fallback would be a running back.
Running back?
Probably.
I do think it would probably swing it to running back. Because you're looking at the Javonte, Kenneth Walker, J.K. Dobbins range. He goes.
Let's go. Podium. Jackson Smith and Jigba. That was the guy. Although I do realize in hindsight that Deontay Johnson and George Pickens, it's the same thing. Although, all due respect to George Pickens, he's not as good of a fantasy pick as Deontay Johnson, who I don't even like. I don't enjoy watching Deontay Johnson play football. His particular brand of receiving is very annoying to me, but just the way that fantasy points are accrued, he's
2015 Davis Mattek would have George Pickens in his first round.
Oh yeah.
Yes, correct. And if you were to make me bet, if the bet was who is more likely to provide excess value in the median, I would make Deontay Johnson minus 200 favorite over George Pickens. But if you made me bet who's more likely to go as the wide receiver 14 next year, I'm for sure betting George Pickens, way more likely to be a second round pick.
Well, I've taken a lot of Deontay Johnson in best ball, but
yes,
what's the point of him in manage? He's gonna. And I know that's a dumb way to look at things. But
seriously, no, Pat, you're so it's so the.
He's 140 targets 3 years in a row. That's a lot of targets.
Yeah, but what's the point, dude?
Dude,
you got that ass backwards. There's less of a point in Deontay Johnson in best ball where the spike weeks are just the 1 week he happens to randomly score a touchdown.
Yeah.
But he gives you 11.5 points every week. Whereas in manage, 11.5 points every week is kind of nice.
No, I don't think I have it backwards. He's gonna do his thing. Whenever he scores a touchdown, he's gonna slot in my lineup because he's gonna have 9 targets that week anyway.
Sure.
And he's involved and he's gonna have enough targets where he's gonna have enough weeks. But he's not going to break out. He's not going to be one of these guys, as we build our teams with a bunch of breakout bets to try to hit these really high-end ceiling outcomes at wide receiver. He doesn't really fit that bill.
See, that I disagree with. I think his targeting
you're not selling me on this
if Kenny Pickett plays like he has in the preseason for, any stretches of 2023, they're going to have the most efficient passing game they've had since Ben Roethlisberger was 3 years prior to him retiring, because they were really bad for a bunch of years. And then Pickett was struggled last year. They haven't had a good quarterback, an efficient passing game. They've been good through the preseason. If he can get his efficiency back, and the quarterback, I think, is going to definitely play into that, the target volume is going to be there. This is the potential to actually be a pretty big hit in my mind. I think you guys are right that he wouldn't get drafted in the second round next year, because people will be like, he'll get like the Jarvis Landry treatment. People be like, oh, he's not actually fun. Like, I don't want to draft him.
Oh my God, Deontay Johnson really is just the heir to the Jarvis Landry.
He's Jarvis.
But he can be like wide receiver 5 and still not get that respect.
He can be the wide receiver 5, and not one person who drafted him is like, "Fuck yeah, so sick."
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fair. If they were to pass enough, he could be like the wide receiver 5.
Like, let's see.
Sweet.
Some of these Jarvis Landry seasons are hilarious. Like Jarvis Landry in 2017. You guys want? It's unbelievable if you were not playing fantasy then. 161 targets, a league-leading 112 receptions, 980 scrimmage yards. I mean, it's just it defies logic. I mean, it was not fun to watch.
Just to catch people up on the settings again, because I know, and I'm guilty of this too, you get best ball brain, you get different site brain. This is a very different settings. We have full point PPR. It start 3 wide receivers and a flex. And, you know, as much as we all like Walker, if you take 3 running backs here in a room like this, you can get buried at wide receiver and be very, very behind. It's not like best ball where we had the 34 rounds where we could make up for it with crazy volume. So I think 3 running backs there would have been a big mistake. We could have debated which wide receiver to take, but I don't think it would have made sense to go running back at that pick.
Sharp draft room, I think, too.
Yes, very.
Because I think we were at a tier break, and then those running backs came as soon as we kind of got through the Evans pick.
Yeah.
The chat is they're not happy about the JSN over Kenneth Walker, which I would not do on FFPC, I don't think, but I for sure in these settings
would be way more justifiable on FFPC.
Right.
I like Ken Walker. I'm a Ken Walker bull.
I like Ken Walker too.
I'm also a Charbonnet bull. If Seattle this year is what we thought Seattle was going to be last year, I will not be chasing Karain. I will be asking Karain for a loan, probably. If that happens.
Listen, funds are a little tight right now. I also have bet a lot on Seattle.
Can you just the rug pull? The rug
a little tight.
If Gino,
$2 million man by the next
hey, man.
Around the collar.
You gotta spend money to make money, Gretch.
Okay, Zay Flowers going way ahead of ADP is not what I wanted to see.
No, I don't love that.
Did you guys see the clip of Zay Flowers at
camp?
We talking about his signing bonus and Odell falls over when he hears it?
No.
It's really funny.
This is a great format for zero RB. I'm realizing when I'm looking at Team 8 and Team 9, both started with 4 receivers in the first 5 and a non-running back
James
for the
Cook
other
and
pick.
J.K. Dobbins,
and then they get James Cook and Dobbins as their RB1s in the 6th round with those top 4 receivers. That's a really nice way to go about it.
No lusting after other teams, Gretch.
Yeah, sorry.
Eyes on the prize here. So through 6 rounds, we go Cooper Kupp, T. Higgins, then grab Rhamondre Stevenson and Breece Hall, then go back to George Pickens and JSN because Davis, before told us he really still wanted to prioritize some Week 17 correlations here with Pickens and JSN. So we're like, all right.
This is just a 3-week sprint, no weekly accumulator, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Still, though, imagine if Seattle and Pittsburgh are just trading haymakers in Week 17, and we're chasing.
We're chasing and climbing the leaderboard. Yeah, I mean it's still the last week.
It can't hurt. It literally cannot hurt. Yeah.
I love the Week 17 correlation on these 3-week sprints. We can tell ourselves a story when we're in like 48th place. We're gonna be like, oh, we're winning this. All we need is this game to shoot out.
Week 17 pilled that I'm still doing it like unironically on drafters where I'm like, oh, I just took JSN. I got to make sure I get Pickens on the way back. And it's like, I mean, literally no point. Like the contest
there's no point. There's actually no point.
Yeah.
Although
Davis
maybe there's a point
that
because you're giving yourself that sweat, you're giving yourself that Week 17 sweat.
I'm still stunned, Davis, that you took Luke Musgrave over Ferguson because you wanted your number to go up on Musgrave instead of double stacking your DAC.
Dude, we got 8 days. We got 8 days left into the season. I'm well above 1,000 drafts overall. Like we are
Dude,
simply.
That doesn't answer what I just said.
I'm not even. That's
1,000.
I'm actually jealous of you. I think
you've literally done 4 times as many drafts. I think I'm gonna end up around 300 total drafts.
I'm gonna do like maybe 900.
Peter,
we are not the same. 100.
We are not the same. I know we're not the same.
I'm living a very balanced, healthy lifestyle.
He has
Did
a
you
child.
see this comment? This comment earlier from Nick about he said
Where is
Davis
it?
is one of the most self-aware people I've ever seen. Every stream we hear, it's in 2014 you would have thought X, and he is the first to say yes. I'm doing the opposite now, and it won't work.
I am who I am, and there's no changing it.
I
But
do
it is
love
changing it.
Davis.
That's what
Probably one of my favorite, like most endearing things on Twitter is that even though Underdog Cardio Club ended a long time ago, you still post your Underdog Cardio Clubs like every day. It seems
No,
like
no.
I love it.
It's not. It's if you're in the
Wake
club, it's not over.
Oh god.
If you're in the actual club, I've gotten rake back on 115 Underdog
That's so
Best
good.
Ball Mania 4s.
Oh, nice.
Amazing.
So you're still getting right back because you're posting those?
Yeah, I still get like $37 every 3 weeks, so it's like a pretty good deal that that we've got worked out there. It's totally
Yeah.
worth it.
Ryan, speaking of Rottweiler, Sam and Pat are going to do a Rottweiler draft immediately following this stream if you guys are interested in a double header. We're about to be on the clock at the end of the 7th round here. There's wide receivers I like. There's a running back I like. There's a tight end I like.
Sadly, there is a tight end I like, and I'm honestly hoping that Nelson Sosa just takes him because I do not have this guy on a high stakes team yet. All right, let's just do it. Let's play the heads.
Let's do it.
You're
man.
probably not
Yeah.
going to get any pushback from us.
Yeah, let's
You're
do
not.
it. Let's play the heads.
I'm very in. 7-10? 7-10?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You know,
We
it's
ruined
like-
this team, guys. This was a
This
blunder
hurts.
we just ruined.
I-
It's a real shame we had to do that.
I wanted him. I was the one who brought it up. But every time, I mean, he's my most drafted tight end on Underdog. Pat.
Davis
I
got
drafted
mad
a lot
at
of
me today when we were doing our Swolecast draft because I took Kyle Pitts at pick 80, and Davis said he was supposed to be the one that's allowed to draft him because he likes him more than me.
I have
That's what
squatters rights. I have squatters rights on
Squatters'
Kyle
rights.
Pitts.
Yeah. It's like, this is some bullshit.
Wow, that is some bullshit.
Yeah. I'd like to cash in some of my Kyle Pitts love from last year on these squatter rights.
Pitts is such a brutal pick. I mean, yeah, you're right. You're not wrong.
No, you're right.
You don't mean it the same way that I do, but you're not wrong.
Last year it was a brutal pick. I will give you that. All right. So we do see double more here on the turn.
Oh,
Elijah Moore, Sky
there
Moore.
is there is only one guy I want to click here, and if he goes, I'll be destitute. I'll feel really sad.
Test.
I'm pretty sure I know who it is. I don't think it's the person I also really want, but I'm
Yeah, I'm actually. I don't. Does his name rhyme with Shraylin Smirks?
No,
No,
he's the number
it's
one
DeAndre
zero
Swift.
running zero.
Oh.
Number one zero.
I
running
mean,
back
I love.
list.
That's what I was gonna say when there was the tight end and the running back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm fine
he's
taking
definitely
Swift.
the best
I don't want Davis to feel destitute.
I like Swift.
I
a
guess
lot.
I'm in, but we're gonna get locked out of any more receivers. We only have 4.
No, we're
kinda
not.
weird
We're
to
gonna
knock
take.
over-
We're gonna take Rashi Rice.
right.
We are
So far, I
gonna
still
take
feel pretty locked out.
Michael Wilson. We're gonna take Wandale.
Chiefs wide receiver 6 to start the year. Oh, sweet.
Like,
Thank God we'll get him.
Yeah, I will say.
Let's go
yeah,
Swift.
let's
Let's
do
go
Swift.
Swift.
It'll push us into a slightly different build. We're almost always taking the
Right.
Burks type player here. Let's grab Swift because normally too we've been doing like the 3 kind of dead zoney running backs in these builds and kind of mix and matching the ETN Dobbins types here. So the Stevenson Hall Swift is another kind of fun trio to play
Yeah.
this.
It is.
And
I don't think
maybe
we've taken
get someone
Swift
to
yet.
come
And yeah, there's a shot that we get one. That's part of why it's kind of nice to take Swift there is it sends 3 guys that probably none have any chance to come back, but instead of taking one, there's some potential that one of those 3 I think comes back as far as
You
I'm
know
looking at it.
how times have changed when you guys were openly mocking me and Kyle and Liam for taking DeAndre Swift, and now here we are. And I hated him at the time.
We were
I- at the-
mocking you for
No,
taking.
you were mocking us
I
for
was mocking
taking
myself. I was
Dobbins.
mocking myself. I
You
was
were mocking us for
myself.
taking Dobbins over Swift, I think.
I think
Um,
that is right.
Yes.
I've
then-
learned a lot. I've learned a lot in the last month. You know?
That's still the
key
podcast of the year.
The key is to remain Bayesian. You know, it's just like you just always need to be adjusting your priors, and if you're not adjusting your priors, you just can't win.
That's true.
So David wants to do this 2v2. JSN and Swift versus Ken Walker and QJ.
Like
I mean,
literally
to me, it's
by
pretty
a
clearly
country mile.
JSN and
yeah,
Swift.
can I like lay money as well? Like, I would,
Yeah.
It's not close to me.
No, that's a slam dunk.
You'd have to be a real Quentin Johnston truther to go that direction. I mean, you know, Sean makes this point a lot that like you shouldn't completely disregard your prospect profile the way I have with JSN, where like I just have completely capitulated. I think he's the greatest wide receiver ever now. But there are a lot of people who were bearish on Quentin Johnson as a prospect. Like there were people who were like, oh, he's a body catcher, you know, lack of set. Like there was a lot of people who did not like him.
I mean, I was fairly worried about him. I mean, he looked very boom bust to me.
I thought there was a
Higgins
chance.
Looked the same way. Like it's not that you can't boom, but
We
looked
already
like
talked about how T doesn't make a move. So
yeah, well, T, yeah, that's true.
I will say, ever since the T pick, we've been, and I guess Stevenson, because Leone tried to kill our boner on that one. All these picks have made it moved. Hall, Pickens, JSN, Pitts.
Oh, I like Rhamondre. I mean, Rhamondre, I do think his silent killer upside is like fairly legit. Not necessarily because he's bad, but because the Patriots stinking out loud is, I mean, it's barely reflected by ADP that they have one player who goes in the top 115 picks. So like ADP is capturing that to some degree. Like they might just be a team that doesn't score any points.
I think Leone's right to an extent where like if he was I came away thinking if he was like a 2-3 turn pick, I'd be out. But where he goes, I'm pretty in. And I don't know, it's just kind of like a price thing for me. But I don't know, I'm also a little surprised because I feel like they've been ahead of market on Rhamondre the whole time. So I'm like, it's one of the things that made me feel better about him is that ETR is into him.
Part of the thing about like their whole offense being so cheap though is also just like the way their offense works, the way that they haven't consolidated targets, the way Mac Jones is not mobile at all. Is Zeke their second highest drafted player now? I mean, is it like because
yes.
that to me,
no Juju.
I think he is. Oh, Juju. But so Zeke is up there, and my point is like
Juju Juju's not in my applet. I actually just don't like when I'm drafting. I actually do. Like some people have an ad blocker. I actually have a Juju blocker.
Yeah, Underdog has plugins now. You can just get the Juju removal plugin.
How incredible would that be if there was you could just self-exclude certain players from your pool?
Well, you can. You can do your own cut. So like when I do, I've been auto drafting some on drafters just because there is a limit to how many drafts a man can do in one day. And I just, when I set my rankings to do them, I remove Najee Harris, Alexander Madison, and Joe Mixon entirely. They're just not ranked for me. So they could fall to the 150th and my auto rankings would not take them.
How are you liking your auto drafted teams? Like, honestly.
I mean, I love the players and one thing. So
just hate the construction.
So one thing you would after you think about it, it makes sense. But for example, on a team where you take Jalen Waddle, you are actually more likely to get Tua because you've removed the Tua drafter from your opponent. So like you're getting some, like let's say I do 10, probably 3 of them are like an unstacked, uncorrelated mess. But probably 5 of them have like Mahomes and Richie James or Justin Fields and Cole Kmet because it's actually a little bit of natural selection inside of the draft where when you get the quarterback or you get the narrow target tree pass catcher, the rest of the room doesn't really want to take that guy from you.
Davis, is this comment in the chat putting a comment like
it's
like
literally so funny. It
made me laugh really hard, but I'm trying to figure it out. So you're saying what a commenter would say, right?
Yeah. No. Okay. Big Lenny in the chat said Davis reminds me of Swift. Very talented, but he's 4th on the ship chasing depth chart.
It actually was said.
Very funny. That is poignant commentary. From the chat.
I thought you were doing a parody of a comment. I didn't know that was a real comment. Okay.
limited availability. I
don't even know who wants to be Penny, who wants to be Boston Scott, and who wants to be Gainwell. When we start to frame it like this, it doesn't look very fun for any of us.
None of us are doing too well.
Oh, no one wants to be Rashad Penny. I'll tell you that much.
I do. I'm excited about Penny.
I'll just be Boston Scott. I'll have my 2 good shows a year, and
no, I should be Boston Scott. Crushing it in New York.
There you go. Yeah, except you normally aren't crushing it until you switch to your mobile hotspot. Now you're
crushing it now, aren't I? It's the one time a year when I crush it.
Man, we could have used Rashad Bateman on this team.
That's who I was really hoping would come back.
Yeah. I mean, once we made the vibes-based pick of DeAndre Swift, we kind of knew what we were getting into here.
Yeah. Swift does kind of make sense though with Hall. We're not going to be
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Does NFC do the week 1 look ahead the way FFPC does, where you can switch them in and out?
Say that again.
Like the Thursday night game.
That's a good question. The drop. I think didn't we do that on our 5K a decent bit? Weren't we playing the Thursday night game that year we won with Leone? I thought we were. I thought we were churning some guys.
I think you can, but I don't want to say it. But that, in a weird way, it actually does impact the strategy here a little bit, because we could take 2 Chiefs wide receivers later and see their scores. If we don't want to start, if maybe we don't want to start JSN week 1 or whatever. I don't know, or figure it out at flex. But also, I mean, I'm gonna say Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but no one's gonna listen to me in this room. No one in this room wants to draft Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Seems a little early to me.
No,
how did he run the clock down to 2 seconds to make that pick?
Well, I knew that was a lot because he had Herbert.
So but he ran the clock in 2 seconds. I'm like, okay, he's talking himself out of it, obviously.
That's just gamesmanship.
God, that hurt.
Yeah, free look for the first game.
Yeah.
Do we want to do the same thing that you guys did with the Buckeye Boomers team here?
What was that?
Fryermuth round 9. Oh, never mind. We have Pitts. We have Pitts.
Yeah. I honestly think this could be like a Jacoby Myers type team.
Yeah. Jacoby Myers.
Zay Jones
really makes sense. Odell Beckham as well. I know it's gross, but
I'd honestly do Jacoby or Odell.
Isn't Zay running
how
in
the
2 wide receiver sets and Kirk was coming off?
At least
we can do Jacoby. I like Jacoby Myers.
I'm fine with.
I fucking hate this. This is terrible.
Davis, this is what
could go running back again
because this is the DeAndre.
I think we take a running back. I think we take AJ Dillon or.
Speak up quick. You got 9 seconds. I'm going to click Jacoby Myers unless someone pounds the table hard for something.
I'll take Penny. Take Penny.
Penny's kind of interesting. I know, but
we
just take 2 cracks at the Eagles guy.
Yeah. Myers is fine.
God.
Where did Jonathan Taylor go? Oh, 8th round. 8.
Give me that 2v2s. Penny Burks versus Swift Myers.
Right.
I think you also need to again, part of the grossness with Myers is the half point PPR on underdog.
It's also best ball brain.
That's true.
Where 12 quarterbacks have gone by now, and only 6 have gone.
Jacoby Myers is the less sexy version of Deontay Johnson, and this team needed him.
Yeah,
Josh
it just doesn't
for being on the wrong side of the board.
Jacoby Myers is a good pick. But I wouldn't call him the less. I mean, Deontay Johnson's levels of target earning are a little different than what Jacoby Myers gets to.
Jacoby Myers does have quite a long track record of earning targets in a very unsexy way.
He's also rated very well in open score at times, which is what Deontay Johnson is kind of his calling card as well. In addition to the target per hour run, it's he does.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to gas ourselves up. We made a pick.
No, I'm not gassed up
about.
Well,
it is what
and he knows adjusting the system and McDaniels apparently really wanted to use, like, the theory was Renfroe would be great in his system as a slot guy. Really wanted to use him last year, but Renfroe had all the injury issues, and then he goes and pays Myers. Like, there's some dots you can connect that, like, Myers is going to be a pretty heavily used slot guy this year too in that system.
Mm-hmm. I just think I have no problem making the Swift pick, but you have to be comfortable with these picks to make that click. And so I just assumed we were comfortable with these, but it sounds like we weren't. In which case, I would wind us back and be like, "We fucking cannot."
That's why I said that turn is hard to leave without a receiver. Pitt Swift.
Yeah.
Hey,
once you make your bed, you got to lie in your.
But QJ Dobbs
going.
going.
Man, I'm not trying to make it feel destiny. We overruled him on CMC. I just feel like we had to give Davis Swift.
I liked Swift, but we just got to be okay with this.
Yeah, no, we're fine.
Mims.
Wow, that's who I was gonna float instead of
Mims
higher.
is going this early, when is I'm gonna put a name in the chat real quick.
So we could do the Odell, the Zay, the. Let me see who's in the chat here. That's too early, I think. For him.
Okay,
I think
that's
that
fine.
one we can push.
Is Penny make any sense to you guys at all? Just to like have
yes,
two
I like the
Eagles guy.
I like the theory of don't draft Swift and Gainwell together and manage, but Swift and Penny or Gainwell and Penny totally makes sense because they're not really competing for the same touches.
I'm in. The other guy I would float is Tua. Led the NFL in TD rate last year, 6 point per TD league. But I mean, we don't have to do that. I don't really want to do that.
I prefer to take Geno.
Yeah,
we'll
wait too. There's definitely other options.
So let's do Penny.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
I think it's kind of fun.
I think it's fun. Yeah, we have a ton of Tua too across our portfolio so far, mainly all stacked with Waddle and Hill shares. And didn't we take Tua unstacked in one league too, where he just kept falling?
I think we did.
Yeah.
Why are people
mini
lusting over Team 6 when they have fucking Cam Akers? Like, come on, chat. You're all better than this.
Well, they also wanted us to take Quentin Johnson where we took Swift, and then he proceeded to fall almost an entire round.
Someone gave a Team 6 goddamn, like, literally grow up, dude.
Someone else said it's gorgeous. That's the classic. The starting lineup looks great, but I mean, it is like it does look good, but like
it's a fine team. But I'm not.
Anytime you take early running backs and you take an early QB and an early tight end, like your team looks good.
Such a bad roast of it. I mean, it's a classic. Like the starting lineup looks good, and I mean, it does just look like good.
It looks fucking great. You're right. It is gorgeous.
All they're lusting after is that Quentin Johnson went after ADP. That's it. That's the only thing. They just like that Quentin Johnson went after ADP.
They auto timed out with the Davis Mattek star method, and they had clicked QJ in the queue 2 rounds earlier.
Yeah, the fact that team took 2 receivers through 7 rounds and then managed to get Burks and then Quentin Johnson all the way back in the 9th is kind of bullshit. I mean,
what's the functional difference between Quentin Johnson and Jackson Smith and Jig? But their team's way better than ours. We should give up. We should quit.
God. Wow. David just updated his priors to giving up.
The functional difference is that JSN is a massively stronger prospect in terms of like bust rate. Seems way lower on JSN with what he did.
Davis was trolling. Davis knows that.
I am trolling. I actually, to be honest, I watch a lot of college football, particularly Big 12 college football, and never once, like, just watching games Saturday on my couch was I like, oh, dude, that Quentin Johnson guy is going to be the man, which is like literally level 1, like bad football analysis, like watching games on your couch. But I do remember 3 specific Ohio State games where I was like, is Jackson Smith and Jigba, like, is he like an alien? Does he have the ability to teleport? Like, how is he always this open? It's insane.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, I still am like,
I'm into that.
How is he back? How did he have surgery on his wrist and is out here catching balls at practice? Like,
they probably gave him some steroids.
Yeah,
dude,
dude,
out
with his
for
body.
like 2.5 years.
Catch him with his body, dude.
Yeah, dude, it was a body catch.
Now.
Were those actual comments?
I got 3 comments when I posted the video. I got 3 comments when I posted the video about him being, dude, body catch. You don't want that body catch,
man.
bro.
You don't know ball, dude. Dude, body catch that. You clearly don't know ball. I need to see JSN high pointing this like 6 hours after rolling off the surgery table.
I searched my mentions. I was listening to your guys' show and I searched my mentions for You Know Ball. And the only person who's told me that I know ball is Hayden Winks. So that was good. That made my day.
Is the chat still lusting over Team 6 with this Lazard pick? You guys want that one back, or are you going to continue in chat?
No, now they're telling me I'm bullshit for not enjoying watching Deontay Johnson play, but liking JSN, saying JSN and Deontay.
JSN's way more exciting after the catch. They drafted him because of his after catch ability, like literally. Like,
all right. I think we're in a good draft room. I think these are good drafters. Rushy Rice and Jalen Hyatt going in the 10th round is a signal that I think.
Yeah. All right, Davis.
Know what they're doing.
I told Davis that Hyatt would make it back, and he did not.
No, it's fine because we're just going to take the Giants' target leader, Wan'Dale Robinson, in the last round.
I thought Rice might make it back, or else I think he might have been an interesting pick over Penny. I mean, Mims and Rice. I think we could have went Mims Rice at that turn instead of Myers Penny, but I thought we had a shot at these guys at 11, 10.
Yeah.
They don't even make the 11th round anymore, I guess.
God, I don't like to be this guy, but when you take Jackson Smith-Njigba as your fourth wide receiver, Jacoby Myers is just simply a better wide receiver 5 than Marvin Mims. No one wants.
Where were you when I was the one trying to get everyone
on
board with Jacoby
agreeing
Myers?
with you. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that you were the adult in the room.
No, I mean, I kind of wanted Odell Beckham, so
thanks, Dad.
Someone fun.
These dudes just drafting off the 0 RB list. Tajay Spears in the 11th round, dude. What are we doing?
Yeah, tis the season where our precious 0 RB candidates are now like 9th and 10th round picks. Like that's just where we're at now.
What's the most absurd 0 running back pick? Like if you had to pick one example of it, I personally remember my moment of being like, we've all jumped the shark here. But what is your guys' most ridiculous?
It was the Justice Hill, and who was the Chiefs back?
Darwin Thompson.
Darwin Thompson that year.
Darwin Thompson going
7th and 8th round.
I did a main event where we picked on the turn, the 6-7 turn, and someone took Justice Hill 6-11 in front of us, and it ruined my day. I was like inconsolable.
Justice Hill was the OG ship chasing mush.
Yes,
that was the OG mush for sure. And we didn't even get to draft him in main events because he was even going 2 rounds higher than where we were willing to take him.
He looked great this preseason, by the way.
I think it might be a thing. I think
he's coming for Gus Edwards. I'm telling you.
I was drafting Gus Edwards because of Justice Hill.
I think he's ahead.
Fuck, Mingo goes too. Pete, I was gonna let you. I wanted you to make your case again.
Yeah,
that would have been a great add to this team.
All right, Adam Thielen, it is, boys.
You guys sold me. I've been so out on Mingo. I made him just too suggestible because I've been listening. I've been listening to a lot.
Clip it.
Davis. He's updating his priors.
Who's now flip-flopped on Justin Ross, who's taking Calvin Ridley because of one highlight is suggestible.
But Mingo, you guys, I was listening to you guys the other day, and I was like, you know what? That is actually kind of a convincing case on Mingo, and I was like on the clock in 2 slow drafts, and I just took him.
Mingo's been an absolute smash all offseason. I really feel
I want to get a collage or whatever you call it, a mashup of Davis's self-aware moments. That is the highlight of because from tonight's stream, they've been great. He's
a good pick, Mingo.
Yeah.
Round 11 Njoku versus round 7 Kyle Pitts. Pick your fighter. I think round 11 Njoku might be the winner there.
You just told us you're the world's biggest Kyle Pitts bull, and now you're saying that Njoku's just the better version, cost adjusted.
He's a little bit suggestible.
He's up.
I just like this is like the late round quarterback thing where you take Lamar Jackson in the 3rd round, and then you look at the team that got Dak in the 13th round, and you're like, why didn't I just do that? Simply
you're the
Kyle
round
Pitts
13.
bull.
You need to sell us why his ceiling is so much higher than Njoku. Do we want to just take Tua now?
Jaden Reed one pick before us too.
I mean, Tua is kind of a smash, isn't he?
Yeah. Tua all the way back here.
I think Tua's fine. I also think his teammate, given that we have 4 running backs, I think we'd feel comfortable starting and we could hold on to this guy for a while and we don't need to churn that much. I do think a chain is kind of.
I think he'll come back, at least on this turn.
Yeah, our stacking option is Geno, so who might even go undrafted in this. So Tua's fine.
That's true. Do you guys prefer the stack with Geno or unstack Tua?
This just feels very good for Tua. So I mean,
Tua's going to score. Tua's going to score more points. So let's not overthink it. Tua's going to score more points.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm good with Tua. And if we get a crazy Geno slide, we could do 2 QBs.
Yeah, we could.
All right, our team here through 11 rounds: Cooper Kupp, T. Higgins, Rhamondre Stevenson, Breece Hall, George Pickens, JSN, Kyle Pitts, and DeAndre Swift. 2 picks Davis wanted that he's immediately turned heel on. Jacoby Myers, Rashad Penny, and Tua.
So the thing here that you don't,
we didn't leave Tua around the
That's
turn.
100% right. We should have pushed Tua.
Yeah, we should have, but also we wouldn't have been able to come up with another answer.
Yeah,
like,
what's the opportunity cost pick, guys? Chat. What's the pick we were supposed to take?
Where are we going?
A-Chain was what Davis floated.
yeah.
Oh, bummer, guys. Adam Thielen. We could have pushed Adam Thielen around the wrap.
See, I don't think we should go running back. I think we should find a receiver. The receiver's just going to keep getting thinner, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
like, is it Curtis Samuel season?
No, there actually is a guy I like that I've not heard mentioned once on a fantasy podcast yet this year. But why is I'm just going to say it. I don't care if they're listening. They're listening. Why is Rashid Shaheed not a bigger deal? I mean, 11 dome games. He scored like a bajillion fantasy points over expected last year. He's the 3rd wide receiver on a team we expect to throw even more than they did last year. The running back room is a mess. Carr is worst case as good as Andy Dalton was last year. Best case, like a meaningful upgrade on their quarterback situation last year. And the market is already telling us they expect Michael Thomas to be dead. If the market was expecting 17 games of Michael Thomas, he'd be like a 4th round pick.
But that is the answer, because last year Shaheed was at number 2, and it's Thomas, and it's Warren Johnson, and it's Kamara.
The reason is because of the groin, and he was out.
That's
plus weeks.
Yeah,
is he back?
He was out so long.
Is he back?
He is back. I think he is.
Yeah, he is. He's been practicing, but they're backup wide receivers. I don't see anyone who is a like for like. Like, I don't really see anyone who would press him out of the role that he's in their offense. It's Keith Kirkwood, who is useless. Tre'Quan Smith, who literally is the most useless player.
It's Olave that presses him out if Michael Thomas hits in any kind of meaningful way. Then it's Michael Thomas underneath and Olave downfield. Like, that's what it becomes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I view I mean, and maybe it's just like I'm buying in too much the small sample of him scoring so much over expectation as a rookie, but he seems like sort of the ultimate. It's week 7. George Pickens like misses a week because he's got like an ankle thing, and we're like, all right, whatever. Shaheed as the wide receiver 3, and he rips off like a 63-yard end around touchdown or something. I don't know. I not saying we have to take him here, but I wonder.
Who do you like more, Shaheed or Alec Pierce? Because I think they're kind of similar.
Is Darnell Mooney still there?
He is.
Yeah,
another similar type of.
Yeah,
but I mean, the Saints are going to throw. I mean, what do you guys have team level projection? 580 passes for the Saints.
So we're on the clock. I do honestly think we go running back here as opposed to.
Yeah, I think a chain is a better pick than Shaheed.
I don't think we have to. I mean, all these wide receivers are trash. Might as well get some good running backs and then
that's fine.
Start slate.
Do we like A-Chain or Roshan or what's?
I like Roshan too. I'm willing to go either one of those guys, depending on what you guys.
What do you guys like?
With this start, I think we can take the biggest swing possible.
The chain is the much bigger swing.
It's probably
the bigger swing.
Yeah,
and it gives us a stack. Close your eyes.
Got to get that stack.
Close your eyes. It's week 16. Raheem Mostert is injured for the 3rd time. Jeff Wilson Jr. is averaging 3.3 yards per carry behind a bad offensive line. The team needs a spark. Devin Achane has 8 targets in the first half against whoever the fucking Dolphins play in week 16.
I can see it.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Colts. Aren't all of these 3 of these guys getting traded to the Colts?
Okay, this is actually interesting. I actually think Achane becomes, in a weird way, a better pick if Jonathan Taylor gets traded there, because probably one of the guys goes back and he just becomes a pure contingent guy. But like a clear 1-for-1. Like, you're not worried about the other guys mixing in.
Don't buy that.
Fair enough.
You think they would? You think the Colts would even want Mostert or Wilson back? Like, they would, if they wanted it back, it would be A-Chain.
Yeah, they would want A-Chain back.
I'm going. I want to look in 2020 and see what.
Wasn't there a
Hines did.
report that they were looking to get Waddle back for JT? This guy's
That was the thing, and then McAfee said that wasn't unreasonable, and everyone got mad at him.
So in
Well,
let me
glad I wasn't
so
logged
in
on today.
in Jonathan Taylor's rookie year, Nyheim Hines got 76 targets. Do we think like something like that per game pace for a chain is impossible if Jonathan, and obviously, and this is like Jonathan Taylor, who knows?
To me, part of the selling point of A-Chain is the ambiguity and the fact that you have these like career journeymen, older backs, off injured. You have this system here that can produce points from anyone. Like JT is a massive, massive roadblock. So
I'm just saying,
I
don't think a chain goes to being like an 18th round pick if Jonathan Taylor is traded there is all I'm saying.
The other thing I would say about your targets question, like in all seriousness, would be that was a Phillip Rivers team, right? Who throws to the backs like an absolute absurd amount. And the Miami system coming over from San Fran, like one of the low key things about them last year that I was predicting and came true, and I've been saying it again this year, they paid Alec Ingold a huge contract to come be their fullback, just like the Niners did with Kyle Juszczyk, and then they actually use Ingold in the passing game.
He got 23 targets.
He got, that's a decent chunk of their running back volume because no one else is throwing to the fullback. Like no other offense throws to their fullback at all. Like certainly not to that degree. I mean, not none because Juszczyk and there's a couple others. But then Tyreek Hill also gets a ton of stuff around the line of scrimmage. Their true running backs don't really get a lot of targets. It's a pretty low number.
If you add up Mostert, Wilson, and Edmonds, it's over 80 between the three of those guys. So I don't know if that, like, I don't know if I would
also
say
CMC got a decent amount of targets last year, and like A-Chain was. I mean, he's a very athletic, speedy guy. Like, they're not going to force targets to Jeff Wilson. I agree with that for sure, and Mostert, but I think A-Chain might be a little bit more.
Pre-CMC, you can go through the Niners' history, no targets for anyone for like a bunch of years until you get all the way back to when Carlos Hyde got all those targets from whoever that one backup quarterback was that was just checking down for 5 games, like at an absurd clip.
Bethard, I think.
But they spent a third on A-Chain. It's not like he's some random.
They spent it, and that was their first pick.
But I think they think of him as a good scheme fit. People have talked about the outside zone and everything. Like they think of him as like a change of pace, Tevin Coleman type in their system, not necessarily a 90 target.
Maybe,
Like I think that's a different read on what my read on what they see in him.
Okay, my take was bad. It was a bad take that Jonathan Taylor trade is bullish for Devin A-Chain, but like I'm thinking out loud. All right.
He's like, I take it back. Just shut up. Mostert goes after A-Chain. It is a little bit of a jump the shark. I mean, I don't know. A-Chain's is a better pick for our build and has the upside.
A-Chain's been going ahead of Mostert all summer.
That's what Pat and I were talking about this morning. It's hilarious because A-Chain's been going ahead all summer, and then the non-trade happens, and now everyone's taking Mostert ahead of A-Chain. I don't understand. If you're on one side or the other consistently, I get it, but I don't know why JT not going there makes Mostert over A-Chain better.
I haven't been taking A-Chain like at all.
Yeah.
I thought he's been overpriced most of the offseason, even though I do think there's an anti-fragile element to him for sure.
I've got 6% Mostert. I've got 15% A-Chain, with most of that coming since he got hurt and he got 20 spots cheaper. And I have 11% Jeff Wilson, which I think actually represents my feelings about the situation.
We do get our first 49ers, or our first defense peeled off the board here at 13-1. Love to see.
You guys know who we should take? Rondale Moore? Can I introduce you in a short king?
No. I've got 6 other short kings in the queue, Ben.
We're gonna need them. We are gonna need them.
I
like one of these short kings a lot.
Yeah.
We got some short kings in the queue that I think are all palatable picks.
I do. Is Curtis Samuel in there? I do unironically think he's gonna run a lot of routes and is a good fit for this team.
Yeah.
Well,
I like that take.
Jahan Dotson's ADP went up 20 spots in around 6, and Curtis Samuel has been the wide receiver 76 since May 1st to August 30th. He's got to be, his delta of wide receiver movement's got to be the lowest ADP fluctuation of any.
I'm actually taking him now, and I'm not a big fan.
There goes Shaheed.
I was gonna be pretty excited if Shaheed came back, but I would say if we zoom out, right, we've got Kupp, Higgins, Pickens, and Myers. right? We've got Stevenson and an Eagles back. So like our early season starting lineup is pretty solid.
Pretty set.
I feel like we should be swinging for the fences. Like I don't think going for guys with routes and stuff, like we don't really need to do that.
Oh, I think we do for the same reasons that we take like 7 receivers in other leagues. Like we can miss. T. Higgins could be nothing. George Pickens can get hurt. Like you do need redundancy.
I think we need.
But I guess I would say, what are even the profiles that are actually swinging for the fences versus trying to lock in production? Yeah.
So it would be like taking Josh Downs instead of Josh
Wandale.
Wandale's
Michael Wilson. We're taking Michael Wilson on this team, unfortunately for us.
Wandale is locking in production. Let me tell you.
I mean, you don't have to sell me on Wandale. But I'm just more saying, like, to Gretch's point, I still think like this build has room for a guy like Curtis Samuel.
Like a Curtis Samuel and then a Wandale on this turn, I think would be an awesome turn for the wide receiver build. I think one more Jacoby Myers, Curtis Samuel type is helpful.
I mean, the way you guys are talking, I'm worried Gretch is going to float Van Jefferson. That's, I'm just let's swing for the fences here.
You got to worry about that, man.
Never got to worry about targets. The other is going to get dusted by Tutu Atwell. So
wrong high pointing Rams wide receiver, Pat.
All right, I was just saying, I was getting a little worried. Okay.
All right. Oh shit. I
like Curtis Samuel. Are there any other?
Curtis Samuel is just Jacoby Myers, but playing for the Commanders.
Yes,
that's kind of the idea. We might cut one of them. One of them might get hurt. One of their offenses might suck. But like,
I know we're not looking at running backs, but Chuba Hubbard is pretty fun.
Yeah, Hubbard I like more on a classic ship chasing team where you might have to start him week 2.
I feel like we might even just be done at running back, honestly.
Me too.
We might be, yeah. But I just wanted to float him because he's one of the last running backs that's kind of interesting.
I like Hubbard, but not in this build.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
All right.
We're into scratch off receiver territory.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for letting Gretch and I get our condom wide receiver picks. And, we can throw away picks on guys.
We're the dads on the street. We got. I mean, we have to worry about these things.
Speaking of jumping the shark, we have gotten to peak off season when the chat is mentioning De'Ami Brown.
I'm just seeing Davis in the chat. Like, as Davis is talking, then I'm seeing Davis commenting in the chat, De'Ami Brown absolutely sucks. I'm like, what is happening?
I will just
Davis saw that chat and it pushed him over the edge onto the Curtis Samuel thing. He's like, I'm in. You know what? I'm in on Samuel.
I feel like the chat's like a little loopy tonight. Like the takes are pretty bad from the chat tonight. They're having a rough show, but like we're all at the end of our rope here. So I'm going to give the chat a pass. Like we're all it's been a long drafting season. But you guys are having a rough show tonight.
Well, I mean, they got to bounce back because they got a Friday marathon. Speaking of the end of drafting season, Pete, you're finally going to come to the end of the 150.
Yeah. I'm terrified what the chat's going to look like for that. That's why I'm having mimosas, to just kind of help my eyes.
Oh, I like Karane's choice a lot. A lot.
I think that's the type of defensive pick we want to go to.
Yes, Podium.
Karane nailed it.
Oh, are we on the clock?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on one sec. Let me get everything.
Look this guy. I don't know why we don't have a Justin Ross clip, but I want to roll that clip too.
Justin Ross does feel like a guy we should have a clip for.
We should definitely have a clip for Justin Ross. Today he's like, this guy hasn't played since 2012. I'm like, dude.
I want to tilt Davis as the Justin Ross drum beat gets louder.
Was I talking about you, Davis?
This is the face of capitulation. This is the face of capitulation right here.
I love the Karane. I was like, dude.
I think I was talking about Davis too.
You had to have been because no one else. The thing is no one else was even talking about Justin Ross. I was just so mad about this imagined conversation about Justin Ross.
Oh man.
Like, and look, we get to take a peek if he posts 7 for 112 and 2 against the Lions. In the starting lineup.
Every once in a while,
I think Stephanie put Justin Ross in my head. Because I saw in the chat someone mentioned him, and I was like, oh, that's it. So I can't even take credit. I'm pretty sure it was Stephanie. I can't find the comment now.
Well, the chat was riled up after I said they were having a bad show. That really poked the bee's nest there. I will say, like, when you practice safe sex with Jacoby Myers, Curtis Samuel, you wrap it up. Every once in a while, you're allowed to raw dog it. I mean, kind of off Justin Ross and just really go to pound town.
I mean, that is the pick that, you know, we've earned, right? We ate our vegetables with Curtis
We did.
Samuel.
We ate our Jacoby Myers vegetable. We
Yes.
took our Curtis Samuel multivitamin, and then we got to have a cupcake after dinner.
Dude, you can look back on that Swift pick now and be kind of comfortable. Like, this 7 receiver build at this point has some upside, has some floor. Like, I'm actually kind of excited about what we've done.
Jacoby Myers unlocked the DeAndre Swift pick, and no one wants to admit it.
It's so true. I hate it.
Is there anything more demoralizing than pulling up a slow draft and realizing you took Jonathan Taylor?
Oh,
no.
dude, it happens
What?
to me a
Let's
lot.
see it. At what
It
pick?
happens to me a lot.
29.
Oh, dude, I have a lot of
David!
those starts too.
What happened to the star method?
I think literally you just take him at the top of the queue, the guy at the top of the queue, and move on
No,
with
you're
your
not
life.
saying you drafted him right now, right? You're saying you.
No.
Yeah.
I'm saying I drafted him.
Yeah.
Idiot mean 8 days ago drafted him.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But just like, I think from here on out on that draft, you just pick in 3 seconds and you just don't put any more mental energy.
We Gretch, no surrender. No, he's a
No,
low.
you take, you take Jeff Wilson 10 picks above ADP, and you know we're getting
I'm
through
literally, you know what? I'm literally taking Devin a chain. I'm literally gonna take
That's
Devin
what
a chain.
it. We're fucking
No,
getting
no,
through those
Taylor's
weeks.
out is still getting traded to Miami. You don't want to take a chain.
No,
It's too late.
Well, you
I
just-
literally already did it.
I'm just gonna start stacking other names that are related.
I'm gonna take 7.
Correlations, I think inverse. Unless he goes back to Indy, maybe maybe you'll have the starting running back for Indy, but it's HA.
Well, I honestly like taking Wilson with him because I'm just like, get me 4 weeks, and then Taylor goes there, and I'm golden. But
No, that
I
works,
think I'll
man.
just take 7 running backs on all the teams where I open up, and then I see Jonathan. I'm just gonna treat him like a 0,
He's a
Just
zero,
treat
yeah.
it like you lost a pick.
like I lost a pick.
Forget drafting like you're right. It's time to draft like you're fucking wrong.
It's like, draft like just an absolute drunken idiot version of you made the prior 15 picks.
your second 10 picks should be mopping up the mess of your first 10 picks.
who the fuck drafted these picks?
These guys all suck.
This idiot.
I
already
I'm not
got
gonna
9
lie,
receivers, but 8 of them suck. I guess I'm taking a 10.
I am starting to feel slow draft fatigue. It is becoming a bit.
Yeah.
David, you told me you weren't getting burned out. You told me you were having the time of your life and that you found your sense of purpose in life.
The fast drafts are still fun. The fast drafts are still fun. The
Fast
slow
drafts
drafts
are still hitting.
yeah. But the
Slow drafts,
slow
I'm so
drafts.
sick of.
Yeah.
Here's
I'm
my
getting-
question. You done this push and you're trying to max everything and all this in 2023. When you look ahead to the end of this football season, do you see 2024 going the same way and doing 1,000 drafts again?
Honestly, no, because I think the field is going to be better next year. I think we are going to see. I think we are pretty
Because-
close to people developing tools to just draft for them. Like
No.
I think
That's not the reason. The reason is you're not going to be chasing Parade. You're going to be chasing Chunky Monkey 69. And it's not going to be as fun.
you're also yes. Also like the like if
Chasing
like
Chunky.
here's the
I
thing
want to get
though.
a chasing Chunky mug.
It feels like a Cabal member is just like a lock to win every Best Ball Mania. Like it's not going to be Karain, it's going to be Bime 4 or whatever, and then I'm going to be like, well, Bime 4 won, so I gotta do it again.
They're still handing out
Fine
these Cabal member Best Ball Mania championships. Got to get mine while supplies last. You guys
Are
are
we
at the point
taking-
of the draft where all of our wide receiver targets don't get taken anymore. They're all still here in the queue.
Are we taking another short king?
I'm down.
Yeah. I hate to toss this out because I know we're in our raw dog phase right now, but pairing Justin Ross with Richie James is not a hateful idea.
I would say it's a perfectly cromulent idea, Peter.
There's your bingo card. Check it off.
Any thoughts from the two of you on that idea?
What if we
I don't hate it,
what
but
if we
we already
took-
have 7, and I almost want to go towards tight end 2-ish. Like
what if
Ferguson.
what if we play a clip?
I think. Oh,
Save Stephanie some waivers.
Oh, I'd be into that.
I did it
Want to?
last night. I did it last night in the main event. We took Harrison Butker.
which clip are you talking about?
She's talking about
The
Justin Tucker.
Ave
Talking about
Maria.
Justin Tucker.
Okay, all right.
Ave
Just,
Maria.
yeah, then you
We
said
have.
Butker.
It's the only guy we
Uh,
haven't mushed, to be honest. Like, he's so good, we can't even mush him.
Yeah, let's just take him. Who cares?
All right, I just want, just for the record to show, the clip is for Justin Tucker, even though we're selecting Baltimore Ravens team place kicker. I just want that distinction to be made. And if there's one way to distract the chat from the fact that you are just getting absolutely buried in a wide receiver avalanche, you just play that clip and everyone forgets for at
Here's
least
the
30
thing.
seconds.
I feel
really do.
pretty confident every guy I have in the queue is not going to be selected in this draft. So
I'm not even in the room. But do you guys
It
have any
hasn't
interest?
mattered one bit.
Do you guys,
Not a single person is actually in the player pool.
okay, we made a mistake though. We should have taken Ty Chandler instead of Justin Ross. I was not on the ball on that one.
I actually
I don't think we need,
Ross
running
pick still.
backs.
I like
Miles
the Ross pick. I
Gaskin
mean, we
is
need
a
that upside at wide
legit
receiver.
issue for Chandler, and I've been a huge Chandler bull this whole offseason.
Nah, dude, he's Miles Gaskin.
Dude, don't do that to our buddy's friend.
So Gerald Everett and Jake Ferguson to me are both pretty solid picks at this point as potential backup tight end 2s.
I put a name in the chat.
Michael
This is
Gallup
going to be our
George
Sitting here.
Pickens.
This is going to be our last.
What happened to
chance
all
get-
of us taking stabs at wide receivers here? Now we're all off the wide
about
receiver
Gallup?
path.
Actually, like difference makers at tight end and QB, I do think it's really flat at receiver. We can take a stab.
Josh
Yeah.
Downs. Josh
It's
Downs
probably
would be-
not going to change.
Downs would be my wide receiver, but I think there's a running back
Oh.
this will be the last upside running back available, and then they're all gone.
We don't need a running back. This is the
Yeah,
last
I'd
thing
be
we need.
Downs here. Who's
Okay.
the running back?
I'd be Wandale over Downs. Did Wandale go?
Number 15 on the zero running back list.
I'm with Gretch. I think I'm Wandale
Oh.
over Downs.
Wandale, let's do it.
Okay, let's do one then. I think we need the wide
All right.
receiver upside.
Short King
All right.
Summer bitches. All right, Wandale Robinson.
We got
Wandale.
one. We got one.
Davis, I think that your guy will come back, won't he?
Yeah.
I mean, at the point in which Kyron Williams goes, all bets are off at running back. Like anyone could go.
Yeah, fair enough.
So structurally here, I think the issue with the running back, right? We have 4 more picks. I do agree with Gretch that we're probably going to like a tight end value with one of these. That leaves 3 more. One of them's a defensive pick. So that leaves 2.
And we don't want to back up 2. I kind of feel like backing up 2
We could-
makes sense.
Yeah.
Do most? Of
Yeah,
these
and there's some
teams take 2
interesting
quarterbacks?
quarterback names with legit upside here too.
Right.
So
I think we maybe
that leaves
aren't as
one
strong
pick
at
for a
running
wide
back.
receiver. What's that?
The chat pointing out our running back room is 40% Eagles makes me rethink that we're so strong at running back. Tucker was the guy. That's a shame.
I don't think we're super strong at running back. I do think
I think if we are like if the Eagles running backs, if we get handcuffed by Kenneth Gainwell, like I
This
think
team was
we're
dead.
gonna-
So be it.
This team
it
was
was-
dead
yeah,
already,
it
and
was-
we're
it
not
was
going
dead.
to. That's not happening. I do not subscribe to the possibility that Kenneth Gainwell will cuck both DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny. That is a fabrication. That is a
No, I do
preseason
subscribe.
nonsense fabrication. Not
I
happening.
do subscribe to it.
I think he's pretty good. I mean,
yeah.
he's pretty good.
The guy who pounded the table for both Swift and Petty subscribed to the thought that Kenneth Gainwell's going to handcuck them both.
I could see it. I mean, I don't think it's
Peter.
0%.
We just
Not
don't
happening.
know. We just don't
Yeah.
know, Peter.
David, your head is just fucking spinning. Every pick, I can't keep track of your takes.
But so I did want to say on the Tua point, like, and it's not just about the concussions or whatever. So Pickett goes. We maybe could have paired him with Pickens. This is a format where with 20 yards per passing point and 6 point per passing TD, quarterback replaceability is kind of like, or whatever. Quarterback, like you want points from quarterback is what I'm trying to say.
You're saying you can't just go to the waiver wire and get anybody.
Right. You kind of need like multiple shots at like a decent, viable quarterback score, and maybe even play matchups a little bit because, and I mean, whatever. Like we haven't done that yet, but like Pickett was a reasonable option. He's now gone. There's a couple others. I do think we should roster a second. Probably is my point.
All right.
I'm in on the name in the chat.
I know Pat's in.
Pat loves this guy. Can't get him.
I'm in.
Can't get him.
I'm in.
Can't
Yeah.
get him to stop talking about this guy.
I'm all about him in managed.
I prefer him in weekly winners.
John Madden take. Oh, I don't know. What that
Are they gonna? Is weekly winners gonna fill, Peter?
Why are you asking me?
I don't know.
I don't know if it will. 74%. That's a long
There's
way
only
to
a
go.
best ball porno made about you, dude.
Well, the weekly wieners parody is apparently coming out soon. Yeah. I think it's gonna overlay probably.
The chat doesn't get that if Wandale had never been injured, I mean, he would have been going as like the wide receiver 53 all off season.
I agree with that.
Wandale, I went to look it up because I wanted to make sure it wasn't a false memory. He got targeted 30 times on 140 routes as a member of the Giants last year.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
No, the kind of collective disdain for Wan'Dale Robinson, like the amount of shit I got for taking him all offseason, and then the second Paris Campbell had one good snap at OTAs, and then he jumped like 4 routes. Like people just do not want to like Wan'Dale Robinson for whatever reason. But I'm excited.
But Wandale's going now. I got sniped on him multiple times today. Now that he's avoiding the pup and stuff, people are all in now.
Well, that's all it takes. One blurb, one highlight, and then people get reminded about a guy again.
The people, I got to stop with the chat. They're not having a good show. They're not having a good show.
Write it on your forehead, Davis. I got to stop with the chat.
We got people comping Houston Tank Dell to Wandale, who got recruited to Nebraska as a fucking 4-star running back. Like, enough. I can't. Sam Howell.
Yeah, Sam Howell, I think makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, this is an upside cut here. Let's do it.
Stacking that bitch up, Curtis Samuel. Let's go.
That's right. Everyone wants to stack up Sam Howell with Jahan Dotson and Terry McLaurin.
Everyone wants to
the real
stack
ones do it with Curtis Samuel.
Everyone wants to stack their first round pick. We stack our 13th round pick, and that's
That's
how you
right.
know.
Yeah, that's right. All right, let's recap this team so far as we have only 3 more picks to go. Cooper Kupp, T. Higgins, Rhamondre Stevenson, Breece Hall, George Pickens, JSN, Kyle Pitts, DeAndre Swift, Jacoby Myers, Rashad Penny, Tua, Devon A-Chain, Curtis Samuel, Justin Ross, Baltimore, roll the clip, Ravens, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Sam Howell.
Guys, speaking of our first pick, is Matthew Stafford still available?
Oh,
if
yeah.
Kupp's going off, we probably should.
We know that, right?
I
I
think.
thought we were
How many
going for
times
upside.
has
I like
Kupp
Howell
gone
a lot
off
more.
with Stafford having like 21.5 points? I feel like that
That's
was
true.
like every
Like
single
like
game.
an infinite number of times.
Yeah.
Like 183 yards and 1 touchdown for Cooper Kupp is 18.5 points for Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford's just going to get cut anyway if he does get picked at all. He might not even get drafted. So if we want to add him later, we'll just do that.
Jaleel McLaughlin. This guy,
All leading rusher in NCAA history.
This dude is I mean,
excited.
you guys are in dynasty leagues with me, but none of you have responded to a trade offer from me in weeks, so I'll say it.
I loved your guys' interaction on that. Like I was 100% with you.
Ben, I am in fucking jail in this league. I am in jail in this league. There's one good team. It's Michael Leone, but he has no picks. But his team is insane. It is like one of the 3 greatest dynasty rosters I've ever seen. So I'm tanking, but because Leone is going to win this league at a canter, no one will give up anything for anyone. I mean, I'm sending like 4 guys for a fucking second round pick, and people are like, dude, get out of here. Like, I don't have time for this. And I'm in fucking jail.
Davis is sending me screenshots of trade calculators. I expect that behavior from some people, Davis. I don't expect that from you.
It's a real Brit Divine move of me.
Screenshots of trade calculators, Davis, in fucking 2023.
I just love that your conversation devolved to Davis being like, Dynasty fantasy football is not enjoyable. And then Pete was like, none of us have time for this anymore.
Yeah. I don't have I got the notice. Hey man, you got cut some dudes off these rosters. Yeah. I was like 7 guys over the limit past the deadline.
So point being, if you're in a league with me, please respond to my trade offers.
Have you sent me any trade offers?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Can
we just take Richie James at this point?
Richie James.
Yeah, I'll take Richie James.
Come
Do
on.
it.
Roll the clip, producer.
Roll it.
Is there a Richie James clip?
No, but I like that we have so many clips that you believed it for a second.
No, I was doing the clip, just him running 3 yards and turning around.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, real ones will never forget the game against the Packers. Deebo Samuel was $200 in Showdown coming off of the short-term IR. Richie James was like 8% owned. He went off. He was the highest scoring player. He was the captain. Like an absolutely legendary performance.
I think if we combine Swift and Penny together, we have the running back, a top 5 running back. And if we combine Justin Ross and Richie James, we have a top 12 wide receiver.
We've got MBS from last year. So
if we combine Breece Hall with a guy with a healthy knee, we got to start running back.
No.
Irrefutable claims.
Sorry, guys. I'm just making some slow draft picks here in the Puppy 3.
Yeah, I feel you, man.
All right, Davis. It's been probably 3 hours since I logged into Underdog. How many teams do you think I'm on the clock on right now?
4.
0 actually right now.
Oh my God. It's going to be my life in a week. It's going to be my life in a week. There's no reason for me to get fussy right now. I'll be done with this in a week.
Fussy.
No, Davis, because then you're going to be making 1,900 Millie Maker teams. And
no, I won't. I won't be. My DFS action is far more simple. Way more simple. Mostly single entry stuff. For Showdown, I'll do it, but that takes like 30 minutes.
Dude, you're going to get the itch, and you're going to be like, I'm going to MME and lock button Gino with Lockett stacks for all the money.
I'll give you guys a little sneak preview of the Showdown show with Easy. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is $3,800 in the opening slate against the Lions, and if you made me set odds, I would make him plus 105 to lead the Chiefs backfield in snaps and touches in week 1.
Whoa.
It's just how they do things, right? Because
we should be drafting more Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
It's Gretch, it's going to be the same thing that happened last year. By like week 6, he's going to be a complete afterthought and barely playing.
But he's also going to be the right handcuff. Like I've thought this for a while. I thought the Deneric Prince stuff was like out over the skis just because it happened with Pacheco last year.
Right, yes.
Right. Yeah.
Well, the second week of training camp, and I didn't notice this until later. Kyle Dvorak pointed out to me they stopped him returning kicks really early on. They were like, nah, we're just gonna have Richie James do that. So at that point, he was dead. He was dead. He was dead.
And when you already have Pacheco as a young back in your backfield, there is an advantage to then having CEH be one of your 3, and you have this other sort of like vet that knows the playbook. Like they don't think he's good, they don't think he adds anything, but they also like can rely on him to like play every down and do stuff if they need him to.
Jacob actually just had a great write-up and thinking about 4,700 words on the Chiefs backfield. And the TLDR is McKinnon is overpriced. Pacheco's role could expand, but is not likely to because McKinnon's so good at his specialized role. And Clyde is like 50 spots too cheap.
Right.
I
He's
agree
way
with
too
all of
cheap.
that.
Yeah. It's
We
made
took Clyde.
no real
We
sense.
took Clyde. We took Clyde in the main event last night.
Are you worried, Davis? I'm seeing some steam on CH. I was doing a BBM4 draft earlier. I think I saw him going like the 14th round to a blindfolded guy.
I am a little worried about being in a room with a blindfolded guy who couldn't remember any other player other than that he thinks Clyde Edwards-Helaire has some ceiling.
By the way, if you don't know what we're referencing on the Swolecast today, David Kitchen drafted a team while literally blindfolded, and we were able to tell him the picks that had come off the board, but not who was available. So there was a couple panic picks, and one of them involved Clyde Edwards-Helaire and like the third.
He did run so pure, and that his
Wow.
pocket picks of Deshaun Watson, David Njoku, Traylon Burks, DeAndre Hopkins, they were all available like 5 to 15 spots after ADP. So he did run very pure in that sense.
That's awesome.
The other funny one, he took Gerald Everett at 124. I don't know why. That one really killed me for some
That was
reason.
pretty good.
It's not even
Because
that huge of a reach. It's just very funny.
Everett,
It is
because
funny.
Everett is not a podium pick for anyone.
Exactly.
no.
Never goes around.
Even if you have
at
Herbert,
80.
he's barely a podium pick.
Yeah.
He just went in the 18th round of this draft, and I've been trying to talk you guys into it for like 3 rounds. It's like, And I wasn't really trying that hard because he's not a podium pick. I don't really.
I figured out.
Is Dulcich still on the board?
I was gonna say that. I was like, this feels like too cheap.
Yeah, at this point, we take him.
There is a nut defense that we won't have to do waivers on for
The Saints?
for like 7 weeks.
Yeah, they're that one this year for sure. And I'm definitely down with that. But
Stafford
yeah,
goes.
then tight end, yeah, he'll probably get cut though, right?
He will. I mean, we're gonna cut Sam Howell like so fast. So
What the fuck, dude?
because
Howell's
because when you're doing
What
week
the
one
fuck?
when you're doing week 1 waivers, you don't want to cut Wandale because you're like, I don't know, dude, maybe he'll do.
All
it
we've
this
been
next
doing
week.
is drafting shitty wide receivers for the past 8 rounds, and you're like, we're gonna cut Sam Howell the first thing. I mean, we're gonna have like 8 other guys to cut.
Well, we'll probably cut whoever's a healthy scratch in week 1 between Ross and James.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my point. So
Probably
hey,
one of those two. Yeah.
Let Sam
Saints.
Howell kick off his shoes and stay a while, dude.
Saints.
Can we take Dulcich here?
Can we
Saints.
do Dulcich?
Sure, whatever.
Yeah,
I think if Team 2 takes the Saints,
whatever.
Team 1 already has a defense. How are they
Yeah.
looking on tight ends?
They have Juwan John. They have 3 tight ends. Team 2 only has 1.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
grab Dulcich.
Yes.
Dulcich
Stephanie,
here is dumb.
It's
And
even
producer.
Ferguson. Oh God, you're right.
Producer?
I can't. Let me
There's
play
actually
the Taekwon
there's actually no video of him because he's a false
There's a
flag
Taekwon
Wow.
Thornton.
We've
It's
already
hilarious that
done
he
this.
is out.
Oh my God! Look at that hair! Oh my God! Oh my God! It's so beautiful.
Do you know what's great about this clip? It being a throwback to so many things, but back when Pat wasn't a millionaire and would spend time making clips, that's what really great. I was like, Pat fucking made this clip.
I love that clip too, man. There's
I
like
bet you
so many
do.
moments in that where I'm like, I'm all the way back in.
I
It's a funny clip.
did have this thought reading Stealing Signals today. Gretsch had like this like 2-paragraph thing about how like we might just be overinterpreting some of this preseason stuff because there are real football reasons to do some of the things that have nothing to do with how they plan on deploying guys in the regular season. And Dulcich like having like 73% route participation in week 1 and like us completely forgetting this preseason shit and him dropping to the tight end 29 or whatever, it just ends up being completely absurd. And like every Denver wide receiver is just like final destination, and yet Greg Dulcich just like keeps dropping in ADP.
Yeah.
I was in the Rottweiler today. I've done one so far, and I did a Herbert stack. And you don't even really need to game stack that because it's a 6-team final, but I still did. And I just was like, I kind of was in the range to take Dulcich, and I was like, I'm pushing him another round, and you're gonna let me have him. And they did.
Yeah.
Everyone let me have him.
Did.
Yeah, full round past ADP. It's kind of nuts.
Man, it really is. It's crazy how just there we go. We get this is why you let the Saints come around the wrap.
That's
Are
right.
there any other defenses here?
No,
This is our
Saints.
guy, right?
Saints are great.
When the Saints come marching in. But the Dulcich stuff is crazy because if you think about it being efficient, right, it would be like kind of a wash, right? Like that usage isn't ideal in the preseason, but then there's so much opportunity now with these injuries. Like in otherwise, you would think that would kind of mitigate it. And everyone just like, nah, man, I saw that Nathan Janke screenshot. I can't touch this guy.
No man has more unchecked power in fantasy football than
Yes.
Nathan Janke.
It's true.
That
Totally
dude, that
agree.
dude could write anything. People are not double checking. People like
I'm not double
that dude-
checking shit.
I'm not double checking that shit.
like
he was
Nathan
like-
Janke he could be like Clyde Edwards-Helaire was a punt gunner and played no, and people would just be like, yeah,
I would
definitely.
never take
he
him
is.
again.
Yeah, that's true.
he should really try to push this.
No,
And,
not only would
good.
people agree, people
Yeah.
would tout that on every podcast. Like, it would be like,
yes.
dude, CH
Yeah.
is playing special teams now. Did you hear? Like,
Tutu
idea for
Atwell's
Nathan
running
Janke.
in 2 wide receiver sets ahead of Cooper Kupp right now. Let's just
Right.
see what happens.
I
Do a
mean, I'm telling
preseason
you,
week 4 breakdown. Because people forget there's not a week 4 preseason, right? There used to be 4 weeks. You do preseason week 4 and just make shit up. Just make you don't have to
I'm
do every game.
telling
Just
you,
highlights of preseason week 4.
he
That'd be
would
beautiful.
get away with it. He could
Yeah,
get away with
he
it.
would.
He could be like Jaleel McLaughlin was playing on first downs over Javonte Williams, and he was just rotating in as a satellite back. And all of a sudden, you'd be in a best ball mania, and Jaleel McLaughlin would go in the 13th round. You'd be like, "What the fuck happened?"
Yeah, I thought you guys know ball. No, we just know Yankee. That's it.
We know
We
Yankee.
know
I
Yankee.
only I know Yankee, and I know Stealing Signals, and that is how. Like if those 2 places lied to me, I'd have nothing left.
Gretch, you could do this too. Week
Yeah,
19.
Gretch, you
Gretch
could
did it on
too.
this bit.
I don't know if Gretsch. I mean, no disrespect,
I
but
don't
I don't
think
think he
so.
moves the market the way
No,
Mr.
I don't.
Yankee does.
Absolutely no. No.
Well, it's because
disrespect.
Gretch needs just more little emojis at the end of his
Yeah.
posts, and that would
You
We'll mark it down
another guy who could do this would be Levitan, not with the preseason stuff,
Oh,
but
yeah.
with the narratives or with the athletic blurbs, because most people, I would guess 10% of people who play Best Ball Mania have an athletic subscription, but they all follow Levitan, and Levitan could be like, he could just be pulling the worst shit about Dalton Kincaid from these articles, like whatever. If there's any negative out there, he could push Kincaid down to like tight end 15.
He can control the blurb. Is Levitan going to put the Athletic out of business, dude? Like, who's buying the cow when Levitan's giving the milk away for free every day?
He is. This is like 3 seasons of ship chasing ago, but he is actually pre paywall Pete, but he's pre paywall Levitan.
Dude, do you want to know the thing with the Athletic? So that was the whole thing. Pat was like, you got to get on the Athletic or whatever. And he's like, sign up for this free trial. I've been getting fucking auto charged once a year, and I've never got it and canceled it. So
Yeah,
Pat
same.
was like clearly part of Big Athletic, got me as
should
like
get a
code
kickback.
for a free month,
Yeah.
and now I pay for it every year.
Where's his
I just read the
kickback for that?
screenshots on Twitter.
I fell for the it's $1 for 6 months thing, and so I've been
That's what
paying
I
full
thought,
price.
yeah, I
I've
get that,
been
yeah.
paying full price for the Athletic for years.
Yeah.
I like supporting my guys. The no dunk.
Yeah, no, we
there
feel
is
great
a lot
about
of-
supporting the Athletic. Clearly,
Look, it is a valuable service. I'm
It's
sure
very
whatever
valuable.
I pay for it. But if I was not a virgin drafting fantasy football teams, I don't know, like, what would the average fan of the Kansas City Chiefs get out of reading the 53-man roster projection?
people
It's
love it,
all
dude. Like,
fantasy.
there's whole
Yeah, they
there's
love
fan
it.
sites. There's people
There-
are
yeah,
obsessed
it's
with
true.
that shit.
All right, what I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Davis,
I mean,
if
fans,
Levitan
think
tweeted
about all
that-
the fans that are in like fantasy analyst mentions. Like those
Yes,
are the
yes,
guys that are
yes,
devouring every single piece of written content about their team.
All right, Crane, if Levitan tweeted what?
If Levitan tweeted that Patrick Mahomes and Justin Ross were bowling buddies and were bowling every week. this
Justin
whole
Ross.
summer.
Justin Ross capitulates and flips Rashi Rice in ADP within
bet you're
10
right.
days.
Like not even a bit. I
Not
think
even a
that
bit.
happens.
If he pulled up like some Kansas City Star article where like Justin Ross and Mahomes are like friends, like they have like a Thursday night bowling league or something.
Thursday night
with-
bowling.
You guys, I just got a really great tweet. I got
Let's
printed out all your posts from June to yesterday like a total boomer. It's bursting through a 1-inch binder.
This is a 3-inch but he holy
This is real?
cow. He
This
three
is what
hole
I've
punched.
written.
He three
Shit,
hole
it is
punched
real.
it. Oh my god! And are those-
This is the
are
greatest
those
thing I've ever seen.
dividers? Are those subsection dividers? Oh my!
Get your
goodness.
people. Got to get the shit together, Greg.
Wow!
That's amazing.
Holy
Oh
cow!
my God.
I do have a tip for readers of Stealing Signals and of Thinking About Thinking, which is that the Substack app is like beautiful. For years I just read them in the email or on the website, but the app is actually so nice. Like it remembers where you were in a 9,000 word screed by Ben Gretsch. So like I had to close out of an article earlier and I popped it back open and it was like 76% done. Took me right back to the spot. It's great.
That's cool. There's also like an AI narrator for them. So like sometimes I read Gretch's stuff and I hear it in a robot woman's voice.
Nice.
Pat, I do.
Nice.
I love the narrated articles on the premium Legendary Upside feed. I've been listening to those walking my dog. It's
Hell yeah.
beautiful.
I threw one. I that's been something I thought people would like, or it's like one of those things where if you're into that, I was hoping people would be like psyched about it.
Yeah.
But I threw a free one up on the regular podcast feed if people want to get a little taste for that.
Wow,
For the
this guy
legendary
knows marketing.
running back
You know
upside.
marketing, bro.
This guy knows ball and marketing.
You know marketing, bro. Couple things. Let's recap this team. Also, I mentioned it earlier. There's gonna be a stream right after this. Pat and Sam Sherman are gonna draft a Rottweiler team, $350, 75K prize. We've been trying to get the ADP chasing guys together to draft some teams. Davis, have you had a change of heart? Are you feeling like you want to draft this team?
No, dude. I've been up since 5 a.m. Someone T-boned my car today. I am not
Seriously?
T-boned. I was in my old beater car that I've had since college. I had to put it to rest today. No one got hurt. Like it was a very low speed incident, but I was not at fault. It's been a long day. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I feel you.
That sucks.
I was up at 5:15 this morning as well. But and then you guys, I think, are gonna also get together to do another one, maybe pre-recorded.
Friday, I think.
Keep an eye out for a couple.
Crane, you and I-
drafts.
Are you going to get any sleep? You and I are podcasting at 9 a.m. Central tomorrow.
Yeah, that's 10 a.m. here, so I'll be good.
Okay.
I am impressed, Pat, that you're pulling off moving right now because all I see you doing is
His
content
podcast,
drafts.
I can't believe. I honestly can't believe that. Shout out to Brittany who's been doing a lot of the logistical stuff. 'cause there's-
Clearly,
yeah, there's various things we gotta figure out. We gotta buy a car, and because I haven't had a car in 10 years. I've been
Wow.
living in New York. Yeah, so there's stuff like that, just
Do you even
things
know
that
how to
we're trying to
drive,
get
bro?
together.
Yeah.
You have a
I do
driver's
know how to
do you
license?
know
drive,
drive,
yeah.
bro? Do you know?
I grew up in
vehicles, bro?
Delaware.
Do you know?
I mean, everyone in
do you know-
SoCal drives like a maniac anyway, so it's all right. You'll be
Do
good.
you know
You'll fit right
cars,
in.
bro?
I don't know cars at all.
What
kind of car are you gonna get?
Can we recap the team for the audio
I think
listeners?
Yeah.
we're looking at a Tesla, maybe.
Okay.
Right,
I
he's a
thought.
millionaire.
I mean, jeez.
Paris Pat.
Wow. Now he cares about the environment. Now that he's a millionaire. Typical.
I gotta move to California and be all superior. That's how it works.
All right, let's recap the team for the audio listeners. Thank you, Davis, for keeping us on track here. Cooper Kupp, T. Higgins, Rhamondre Stevenson, Breece Hall, George Pickens, JSN, Kyle Pitts, DeAndre Swift, Jacoby Myers, Rashad Penny, Tua, Devon Achane, Curtis Samuel, Justin Ross, Baltimore Ravens, team kicker, Wan'Dale Robinson, Sam Howell, Richie James, Greg, the third leg, and New Orleans Saints defense. Let's do this. Let's go around the horn. Everyone's favorite pick and least favorite pick. It is draft style, though, so once a pick has been chosen, you can't be duplicated. Davis, favorite pick from this draft?
Cooper Kupp. We would have had a way worse team if we took Christian McCaffrey. We would have taken, I guess, DJ Moore or Amari instead of Rhamondre, because we would not have wanted to be two running backs out of our first three picks. So it's like Cooper Kupp I like, obviously, but just structurally, it opened us up to make other picks that were way more fun. And the worst pick, I mean, look, it's obviously Justin Ross. Like, it is Justin Ross, but it was also the most fun. But
Davis would pick. His favorite pick is what he didn't want to make. It is least favorite pick is the what he desperately wanted us to make.
Right.
I can't.
I thought Sam Howell was going to be his least favorite.
At the time, he goes, run to the podium, and now it's our worst pick.
I mean, guys, we all acknowledge this. The most fun picks, this is Leone's whole bit, is that the most fun picks actually have the lowest probability of paying off to where you drafted them. And, like, sure, it would be very fun.
That is Leone's whole bit.
If Justin Ross smashes, it'll be amazing. Like, we will doing fucking cartwheels down the street if Justin Ross scores against the Lions. But like the vast majority of times this season plays, he's a healthy scratch like 7 times until MBS gets hurt, and like Marcus Kemp is running routes ahead of him somehow.
That's why we took Richie James. That's why you handcuffed Justin
Marcus
Ross.
Kemp on the roster?
No, he will be though.
Marcus Kemp sounds like a baseball player. That's actually a football player?
Marcus Kemp had a clutch first down reception in the playoff game against the Jaguars. No one knows who he is.
All right, Gretch. Favorite pick that's not Cooper Kupp.
I'll say my least favorite is A-Chain. I just have not really been on him. And then my favorite. What'd you say?
Don't FUD A-Chain.
Oh, don't FUD.
Everyone's allowed to give their least favorite pick, Davis.
And then my favorite, I mean, I think it's got to be JSN. It was really, really cool when he came back around. I like him a lot, especially when Myers and Samuel are your 5 and 6. Like JSN is your 4 is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yep. Patty Millions, favorite pick.
Favorite pick is the one I didn't have any input on. Getting my computer set up.
Jacoby, I appreciate that.
Nope. Breece Hall.
Oh.
You guys just come find that you guys have taken my favorite player in the whole player pool without any input from me. It was a fucking delight. And then
least favorite
pick. Yeah, least favorite. I honestly would say DeAndre Swift, just because like we thought about Burks and we thought about Bateman there. And I just think I think we would have had more fun the rest of the way if we had another receiver, right? We don't take Jacoby, we take another running back there. I'm not saying it's a bad
So then
pick.
we could all jerk each other off about taking Jerome Ford. Like, come on.
Yes. Think about how fun that would have been.
How easily are you doling out hand jobs, Davis, for Jerome Ford?
They cut Demetric Felton. Don't you know how big of a deal that is? Like, he's gonna play third downs now.
Pete, think about how many hand jobs there would have been if we're getting them for Jerome Ford. We'd have had a fun time the rest of the way.
Oh man.
All right. Is it to me now?
Yes. Favorite pick, Jacoby Myers.
Honestly, yeah, favorite pick. Someone had to be the adult in the room and say that this team needed Jacoby Myers. That's my favorite pick. My least favorite pick. What was my least favorite pick?
You didn't really want to click Penny.
You know what I will say? I was just like, are we seriously taking Justin Tucker here in the 15th round. I think that was my least. And then I saw the way that the audience's eyes just lit up, and I realized I was wrong. But in the moment, that was my least.
I did. I mean, look, to be honest, I did misread the room a little bit. Butker didn't go until the 18th round. Like, I learned my lesson there.
It's way too early.
It's way too early.
It's way too early.
Way too early.
But honestly, when every wide receiver we were targeting was available from there on, there wasn't much opportunity.
I put
the only toss was Sean Tucker.
We picked the wrong
Sean Tucker.
Yeah.
I put Richie James in the queue in the 13th round, and we were able to get him in the 18th round, so that did work
right.
out.
Yeah. Shocking.
Yeah, Stephanie appreciates it. Stephanie, of course, is going to be running point on our waivers this year, and she appreciates it whenever we prioritize.
She won't have to do kicker or defense on this team till like week 7.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So there you go. And Davis is going to – Stephanie, don't let Davis cut Sam Howell. Who was the guy Davis dropped on our main event team last year, and it tilted me to nowhere?
They're okay. I don't remember who it was, but there was someone I cut that I really should not have, and I think we ended up bidding on him back.
I logged in, and I was like, what the fuck did you just do?
You guys?
I remember this. I can't remember the player.
It was crazy. Yeah.
So
I'm
there
going
are
to search our group chat and see if I can
There
find
are
it.
2 very memorable waiver moments for me with you guys specifically. The first is that we did a $935 bid on Elijah Mitchell and won him by like $2 the year that he was the guy for the 49ers. The other one was that there was like an 8-minute bid on ship chasing when you guys saw that I had a $1 bid on DeMarcus Robinson on one of our teams. because he was a Chief. I mean, for no other reason than that he was a Chief. Those are my main ship
That's
chasing.
one of the reasons we had to bring in Stephanie. Is partly I just at my old age, like opening up Davis's first pass of waiver bids can give someone a heart attack. So
At least I'm not $420 on Rex Burkhead like Hassan.
Hey, sometimes you do just have to live a little on waivers. As far as our programming schedule, like I mentioned, a little high stakes draft over on Underdog immediately following this here at 10 p.m. Eastern in a few minutes. And then our final high stakes managed draft on stream is going to be Tuesday with the aforementioned Michael Leone. We have been doing a high stakes draft with him each year on NFFC. This is our 3rd year. That is going to be a $2,500 draft, and we're going to do that on Tuesday. That draft will be kicking off, I believe, what time is that draft kicking off? I think it's 9 p.m. I'll double check. But that will be our last draft before we head off to Vegas. The 3 of us, I know, will be there. Davis, you want to make a last-minute trip out to Vegas with the ship chasing crew? No, yeah, because you can slow draft in Vegas. That is
Vegas
is
when you don't drink, Vegas is like way less fun. I've been to Vegas a couple times.
Yeah.
It's just way less fun. It really
the fantasy. It's about the community, Davis. It's about the pizza that Pat's buying. It's about drafting teams. It's about
I like to keep some mystique. None of these people really know how short I am. Like they get a vague sense of it from watching the streams, but they don't really know.
Are you worried that they'll see you and feel like you're not that short? Is that the mystique? What's the mystique?
I don't know. It's just like
I'm searching through the chat trying to figure out who that player was, just scrolling through, and there's a spot I found where Davis wrote, "People are frothy," and he wrote frothy in all caps. I don't even know who he's talking about. And Pete's response is in all caps, "Yeah, because of you, dumbass."
could be about literally anyone.
Anyone.
That could be about generic Prince.
Yes.
I love what I found was Pete said, also, I don't love we dropped Geno here. Pick it on bye next week, but the Saints the week after. Ellinger on the road in New England next week doesn't sound like a fun time.
Yeah. Did I drop Geno?
Yeah, he dropped Geno for Sam Ellinger. That was the one.
With Pickett on bye.
Yeah, Pickett, our main quarterback was on bye.
Kenny Pickett on waivers was my greatest moment of content ever because I had to have a 2-hour argument with Liam about it because he watched him and thought he looked good when he was like watching
at a truck
series at a truck stop.
I remember this. I remember
The Bills game. He was only watching it because he was playing against the Bills, right?
Correct.
Oh god.
Sam
Davis,
Ellinger. Oh god.
I mean, you know what? Stephanie, we need you. We need this backstop.
We
bad.
need you, Stephanie.
Yeah. Davis, what else you got going on here other than a million slow drafts?
Crane and I are doing our league winners show tomorrow, so we got a big home draft this weekend.
How many are we doing? How many should I prep for that?
5.
5.
Breece Hall, and Breece Hall.
Breece Hall, not on my list. Not on my list.
He'll be on
I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna give him.
What am I
a
not
pass.
gonna say? I was not gonna do him, and then
yes.
I listened to your pod with Daigle, and he's like, "It's late August. You've all heard what I'm gonna say, but there's a bunch of people who haven't heard it yet, so I'm saying it again."
I'm looking at download numbers, and it's August 2023. The most listened episode of the Takecast all year long was the FFPC main event that we did last night. Already, it's got the most downloads. So
wow,
the people are frothy. The people are frothy.
Gretch, what do you got going on?
I'm just writing binders worth of content.
Yeah, you're killing rainforests is what you're doing.
That's it. That's literally all.
Pat, you are shirking your moving duties to make fantasy football content. Anything else?
That's right. I am, and it's not the most mature thing, but that's what I'm doing. I've been writing today. I was imagining various scenarios in which running backs in the 3 through 5 range crush. And I'm gonna hopefully get that out. I think Friday morning. I think I'm gonna have it done for Friday morning. So look for that. It's sort of a follow up to the legendary running back article, but I'm looking at running backs going a little later.
Is it true when you envision these legendary scenarios, you actually sit in front of your computer and close your eyes and rub your temples? That's kind of what I've heard?
That isn't what I do. I put on electronic music, and I'm just like, that's what.
Yeah. There you go. One other thing that'll be on the channel for Ship Chasing VIP members. I'm doing Best Ball After Dark with Bill Barnwell tomorrow. So I'm doing randomizer with Brett Coleman.
Tell him to unblock me. Tell him that now that Odell Beckham is washed, it's fine. We have nothing to argue about.
I've put in a few unblock requests already. We got Phil in the Ship Chasing Discord. We got him unblocked. So yes, I can get you unblocked, Davis. We'll make that happen.
What did you do to piss off Barnwell? He's the nicest guy in the world.
This was the great Odell Beckham Wars of 2014, man.
Oh, you've been blocked for that long?
This block 9 years ago, you were blocked?
The Odell Beckham Wars were intense, man. That was Analytics Bro on Analytics Bro.
There were not good people on both sides.
All right, hop on over. If you refresh, you guys should see the next event. But on this channel right now, you got a Rottweiler draft with Pat and Sam Sherman. Appreciate you guys. You can check that draft. Check out Best Ball After Dark, and then we will see you guys on Tuesday with Leone. You guys are great. I know I said you were having a bad show. It wasn't. I was lashing out. We love you. Good night.